Chapter 1298, Lin Feng's aggressiveness. The cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer from the Wen clan, who were still in the sky, stopped and frowned. "There's something wrong," whispered a cultivator from the Wen clan. The first time he had seen the Netherworld Demon Emperor, even emperors couldn't look at him. That's why everybody was terrified. Therefore, when everyone saw the Netherworld Demon Emperor a moment before, everyone was automatically terrified, especially when he talked. Then, he had looked at some strong cultivators and made them kill themselves, causing people to be even more scared. However, why had the Netherworld Demon Emperor left a thread of consciousness there? Besides, until that time in the small world, everybody could take everything they wanted. So why would he take that one-paged golden book? Why would a thread of consciousness which had existed for thousands of years want a one-paged golden book? The cultivators from the Wen clan weren't the only ones to think that way, they all stopped and looked pensive. In the distance, a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer listened the cultivators from the Wen clan talk. Then a cultivator from the Wen clan then said, "Did you find that strange as well?" "What do you think?" asked that person. Then they glanced at each other and then gazed into the distance. After a few minutes, they flew back to that place. There were already other people there, and they all quickly realized that the Netherworld Demon Emperor had disappeared. "It seems like someone cheated us," said someone. "It must be Lin Feng, he probably already took the one-paged golden scripture and maybe he made the Netherworld Demon Emperor appear," said someone from Tianlong Divine Castle. Slash, slash, a dazzling sword appeared in the sky, the face of the one who was talking turned deathly pale. It was Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword. Boom! The one who had just talked suddenly turned to void, those on his side as well. Then, the sword moved back into a young man's hand. "Watch your words," said Lin Feng indifferently. He rose up in the air, now holding Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword. Lin Feng, a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer from Tianlong Divine Castle. There are so many cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer are here, and surprisingly, some people are making up rumors that I, a cultivator of the Tian Qi layer, could do such things. I'm not strong enough to disguise myself as the Netherworld Demon Emperor. If you want to kill me, don't use excuses to justify yourself. Those kinds of people should die, said Lin Feng. Don't forget that when the Netherworld Demon Emperor broke free from the seal, you went up in the sky and practiced cultivation in the black clouds. It could definitely be you, said that cultivator of the top of the Zun Qi layer from Tianlong Divine Castle. He was holding a dragon scepter in his hand. Slash, slash, slash. Sword Qi whistled and Jiang's strongest cultivators appeared in the sky. Lin Feng pointed at the crowd from Tianlong Divine Castle and said, "Kill all the people from Tianlong Divine Castle." "How dare you!" The cultivator from Tianlong Divine Castle looked furious. Jian Mu's mouth twitched. The young master was insane. Did he want to annihilate Tianlong Divine Castle? "Kill them, and that one is mine," said Lin Feng, jumping towards the cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer. He was staring at Lin Feng, or more precisely, at Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword which Lin Feng was holding. That sword was an imperial weapon and could kill cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer. "Roger, young master," replied Jian Mu. How could the crowd compete with the heroes of Jiang'a? The cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer from Tianlong Divine Castle was glaring at Lin Feng while releasing incredible bestial qi. However, Lin Feng looked at him looking without concern. He hated people from Tianlong Divine Castle, and if they had the opportunity to kill him, they would. They had even helped Qi Yun the other day. So now, Lin Feng had the opportunity to kill them, so why would he treat them any differently? How cruel, thought the other cultivators. It was better not to offend Lin Feng. He had killed a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer from the Qi clan. He had even killed Qi Tiansheng, who had imperial blood. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword was a special tool to Lin Feng. If he wasn't cruel, people would think that they could bully him as they wished. By unsheathing Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword, he was telling people that if they offended him, he'd kill them. With Jian Mu, The strong cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle could only die. After all, Tianlong Divine Castle and Jianghe were different. Many influential imperial groups had sent some fairly strong people, whereas the strong cultivators from Jianghe who were there were people Lin Feng had sent, and he had chosen the strongest cultivators from Jianghe. Besides, Tianlong Divine Castle kept losing items and people, whereas Jianghe kept winning. Lin Feng was still staring at the cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle who were now motionless. The cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer from Tianlong Divine Castle didn't dare move because Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword scared him. Lin Feng didn't move because apart from that cultivator, there were other influential imperial groups not far away. There were countless cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer with imperial weapons in hand. They had no time to waste there. Even though they were not enemies, they profit from this fight. If Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword wasn't in Lin Feng's hand at any point, the others would take advantage of that and kill him. Arg! Someone shouted furiously, Lin Feng, Tianlong Divine Castle will kill you. Lin Feng frowned and said, do I need you to warn me? He already knew that Tianlong Divine Castle wanted to kill him. The strong cultivators from Tianlong Castle were being slaughtered by Jianghe, horrible shrieks were wailing. Quickly enough, all the strong cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle were dead. Lin Feng, Jianghe, you will regret this, said the remaining cultivator who Lin Feng had claimed. His silhouette flickered as flew away. Since I went this far, I won't regret anything, thought Lin Feng. Since they had put aside all considerations for face, next time, maybe the emperors would show up. Let's go, other people's silhouettes flickered. They hadn't managed to obtain the most dazzling one-paged golden scripture, so they had to find some other treasures. Besides, nobody could be sure that Lin Feng was the one who had stolen the one-paged golden scripture. They weren't even convinced that Lin Feng had done it. After all, how could Lin Feng find someone who looked like the Netherworld Demon Emperor to act on his behalf? Besides, how could Lin Feng look at those powerful cultivators and make them kill themselves? Even if it wasn't the Netherworld Demon Emperor, it had to be a terrifying demon cultivator. They couldn't know that the Netherworld Demon Emperor wasn't fake, it was a thread of intent contained in the Netherworld Demon Emperor's 9 Netherworlds demonic song. Anyways, since they couldn't be sure that Lin Feng had done it, why would they try to fight him? Even the bestial Imperial Palace knew that the diviner had said that the Taoist monk was Lin Feng's protector, but as long as they didn't see them together, they wouldn't attack him. Everything depended on strength. Did you get it? Asked Lin Feng to Jianmu using telepathy, after everyone left. We did. It looks like some ancient scriptures, replied Jianmu. Lin Feng had already obtained the one-paged scripture, but Jianmu had also obtained ancient scriptures. Give it to me, said Lin Feng. He still had Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword in his hand, and until Yan Di came back, it was better to keep it out. Back then, when he agreed to only use it 3 times, they hadn't agreed on how long he could use it each time. So, he could keep using it for as long as he wished. Chapter 1299, Yan Di kicking out everybody. Jianmu gave Lin Feng a ring with the scriptures inside. Do you want it? Asked Lin Feng to Jianmu. Jianmu was surprised. There were probably incredible ancient scriptures inside, of course he had thought about using it. Young master, my strength has reached its limits. I know what I am capable of and I can't progress anymore. Jianghe just wants you to become an emperor and make Jianghe become top dog again, said Jianmu lowering his head. He meant what he said. If he was able to become an emperor, he would have kept Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword and used it already. Now, Jianghe could only hope that Lin Feng would become an emperor, because without an emperor, Jianghe would soon disappear. Lin Feng nodded and said, when I become an emperor, will reign over central Ba Huang. Thank you, young master, said Jianmu bowing. Go and see if you can find any more treasures and give them to the people in Jianghe, said Lin Feng. The strong cultivators from Jianghe bowed before Lin Feng again, and then left. Everybody was already fighting inside the small worlds for treasure. Lin Feng rose up in the air and moved towards a mountain range. He landed on a peak and sat down cross-legged. He had obtained 2 treasures, that was good enough for him already. He wanted to wait for Yen Di to come back to kick everybody out. In the darkness, sounds of battle continued through the night. Lin Feng almost forgot everything around him though, he only sensed the wind brush against his skin and hair. After what seemed like a long time, the sun rose and things settled down. It became extremely calm, eerily so. Many people had died that night and many people had obtained treasures. Those who had obtained the most treasures were from influential imperial groups, especially those who already had imperial weapons. There were a few who had stolen imperial weapons, but they were insane because there were emperor's imprints on those imperial weapons. Even Lin Feng never thought of attacking people with the intention of stealing their imperial weapons. Cheong Qi had stolen an imperial weapon, Emperor Peng's feather. But there couldn't be an imprint on it, and even if there was, Cheong Qi was probably going to modify it using the 9 Netherworld's Demon Lotus. Mo Peng, we didn't get much because those bastards stole the few items we obtained, said someone, somewhere else. The members from the bestial imperial palace were furious. Without cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer and without their feather, the other influential imperial groups had walked over them. Even if they obtained treasures, so what? When I become an emperor, I'll kill them. I'll kill all my enemies, Lin Feng, the stinky Taoist monk, all of them, said Mo Peng aggressively. He had never been as humiliated as he had been in those small worlds. You don't need to wait that long, during the meeting of the emperors, you'll be able to kill a few people then, said someone next to him. Right, I'll kill a few people at the meeting of the emperors, said Mo Peng. At that moment, a dazzling light appeared and made them frown. The dazzling light crossed across the sky and flew to a mountain, into a young man's hand and then into his body. It was a page of Lin Feng's spirit. Yen Di is back. What was that? Thought some cultivators who momentarily saw the light before it disappeared. That bastard, thought some people who followed the light to Lin Feng. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword was in front of Lin Feng, so no one wanted to attack him. Dear friends, I trust you have been well, said someone indifferently. Then, the crowd saw a person wearing a robe, standing on a black lotus in the air. That damn Taoist monk actually modified the 9 Netherworld's Demon Lotus. They had seen how powerful the 9 Netherworld's Demon Lotus was, he had destroyed the sky-absorbing picture scroll even. We met for a short time last time. Now that we are meeting again, give me all your imperial weapons. The 9 Netherworld's Demon Lotus moved straight towards a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer who was holding a thunder hammer. It was a cultivator from the island of the Thunderbirds. How dare you, shouted that cultivator while raising his hammer. With a flash, lightning shot towards Yen Di. The Demon Lotus opened itself and quickly wrapped around Yen Di. The lightning crashed onto the Demon Lotus and burnt away. I gave you a chance, Thunderbird, and you let it slip, said Yen Di smiling in a cold way. Then he threw himself at the cultivator. Bzzz, the Thunderbird rose up in the air, however, Yen Di groaned coldly. His eyes were pitch black, like there were demon lotuses in his eyes. At the same time, he disappeared from where he was and appeared in front of the Thunderbird. He stared blankly at the cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer from the island of the Thunderbirds. Just by looking at him instantly caused him to feel pain in his eyes, as if they were burning. The terrifying demon lotus descended from the sky, oppressed the Thunderbird, and enveloped him. Then, black flames fell from the sky and the thunder hammer ended up in the Taoist monk's hand. I don't like it that much, said Yen Di throwing the weapon into the demon lotus. Who else has imperial weapons? Show them to me, said Yen Di, slowly turning around. Those people's faces turned deathly pale, everybody wanted to leave. I see, when he can't remove the emperor's imprints from the imperial weapons, he just throws them away, thought Lin Feng. Otherwise, he would have never thrown an imperial weapon away like that. I like these 2 small worlds and in the future, I'll practice cultivation here. Everybody here only has 1 hour to leave before I kill everyone inside. shouted Yen Di extremely loudly, his voice spreading everywhere in the small worlds. Who's that guy? He's insane if he thinks he can keep those two small worlds for himself. Watch your words, that's the guy who fought the cultivators at the top of the Zun Chi layer with an imperial weapon yesterday. He killed a cultivator at the top of the Zun Chi layer from the bestial imperial palace and stole their feather. He also destroyed the sky-absorbing picture scroll and stole the 9 Netherworlds Demon Lotus. Now that he modified the 9 Netherworlds Demon Lotus and adapted it for his own use, nobody can stop him anymore. Bastard! He stole the 9 Netherworlds Demon Lotus, and since emperors can't come here, nobody can kill that damn Taoist monk. From now on, Xueyu is his, thought many cultivators at the top of the Zun Chi layer. There aren't that many treasures here anymore, so it's not such a big deal. Let's go back to the Ba Huang province, thought the crowd. People from Jiang'e flew over to Lin Feng and Jian Mu, whispering, "Young master, what should we do?" "Go back to Yangzhou City," said Lin Feng standing up. He rose up in the air and began flying back to Yangzhou City. The small worlds and Yangzhou City now had a common border, they only had to take a step before entering one of the small worlds. Lin Feng was convinced that Yen Di could take care of the res. "All right," said the strong cultivators, bowing. Then, they rose up in the air and flew towards Yangzhou City. Very quickly, everybody left. "Dad, Mom, one of those worlds is Empress Shi's, which contains a celestial chi. The other one is the Netherworld Demon Emperor's small world, containing potent demonic chi. Which one do you like?" "We can use one of them as the new location for our imperial palace," said Lin Feng. His family was speechless, using a small world for their imperial palace. Chapter 1300, Dazzling Light Beam. "Little Feng, are you sure it's okay?" asked Lin Hai. "Could Lin Feng invade the small worlds?" "Dad, don't worry, in a few days Xueyu will be calm again. From now on, Yangzhou City will become the entrance to the imperial palace of Xueyu," said Lin Feng, smiling and nodding. Now that Xiong Qi could cast even more powerful deployment spells, Lin Feng would ask him to protect the two small worlds, the periphery of the Yunhai mountain range, and Yangzhou City. He would also seal the small worlds for the imperial palace to solely practice cultivation. Lin Feng couldn't afford to let anyone he didn't trust know about these plans, especially those who know he's connected to Yen Di. "Let's choose Empress Shi's small world," said Lin Hai, smiling. He knew that Lin Feng wasn't joking. "All right, Dad, you'll help me manage the Yunhai sect. I hope that one day it will come back to life, even stronger than before," said Lin Feng. He had to avenge the Yunhai sect, he was infinitely grateful to them and would never forget about that debt. "It's already become the strongest sect in the country, I'll manage it properly," said Lin Hai, smiling. "Thank you, Dad," said Lin Feng, smiling. He didn't have too much time to spend there himself. Later that day, the Taoist monk traveled all around the small worlds, riding his 9 Netherworlds Demon Lotus, and his demonic fire rained down. That Taoist monk was insane, so nobody wanted to offend him. People were even more annoyed because, apart from the two small worlds, he had invaded a part of the Yunhai mountain range and a part of Yangzhou City, the imperial city of Xueyu. Alone, he had invaded 1/5 of Xueyu. "It seems like we need to leave," said the cultivators from the Wen clan. "Let's go back to Ba Huang," said some people from the bestial imperial palace as well. 3 days passed. Those who remained were standing outside the small worlds, but they couldn't see inside anymore. The spaces were surrounded by a black mist, making it impossible to see anything. At that moment, Lin Feng was standing in Empress Shi's small world where her imperial palace was located. Duan Xinyi was leaning against him, she looked rather pensive. She loved Empress Shi's imperial palace. "It looks like we don't need to change anything, you can live here as it is," said Lin Feng, smiling. He turned his head and stretched his hand and dragged Lu Fei towards him. Lu Fei smiled in a resplendent way and leaned against Lin Feng as well, just like Xinyi. "Lin Feng, are you sure you don't want to take us abroad to travel?" asked Xinyi, smiling. "It's too dangerous. When I have my own small worlds there, I'll take you with me then, said Lin Feng in a gentle way. Alright, then hurry up, said Xinyi smiling. No matter what, she would agree with anything Lin Feng said. You should impregnate her, then she can stay at home and take care of the baby, said someone in the background. Cheong Chi appeared above them, embarrassing Lin Feng once again. I haven't even started condensing my own blood, and I need to become an emperor first, said Lin Feng raising his head. After breaking through to the Zun cultivator, he'd need to condense his blood and then he could transmit it to his children. Besides, the stronger the parent's blood, the more talented his children would be. An accident could happen though. And in any case, when you're strong enough in the future, you can always replace your children's blood, said Yen Di smiling. Besides, with me as a grandfather, your children will definitely be talented. Have I ever said that I wanted my children to have you as a grandfather? Asked Lin Feng. Yen Di would teach bad things to his children. Do you think I would be a bad grandfather or what? Said Yen Di angrily. Alright, Yen Di is a great emperor, so it's only natural that he act as a grandfather to our children, said Xinyi smiling. Xinyi understands, said Yen Di at Lin Feng. Then he rose back up in the air. Lin Feng was speechless, just smiling. He rose up in the air too and landed on a stone elsewhere. A one-paged golden scripture appeared in front of him. There's a seal, whispered Lin Feng. He raised his hand, condensed some sword chi in his fingers and touched the book, but he still couldn't break the seal. Little boy. Lin Feng shook his hand and Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword came out. Little boy, can you help me open that seal? Asked Lin Feng to Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword pointed at the book and attacked it. Golden lights flashed and a crackling sound appeared, the seal was broken. Bzzz. A light beam dashed to the skies. Instantly, the deployment spell activated and black demon fire attacked the beam of light. However, the light broke the deployment spell and pierced through it, leaving a hole in the clouds. Lin Feng wasn't ready for that. He rose up in the air and crossed the deployment spell through the hole. He raised his head and continued watching that relentless light. Slash, a dazzling light came down from the sky, it was so bright that Lin Feng had to close his eyes. When he opened them again, there was a terrifying hurricane. It seemed like clouds were being absorbed through that hole. At the same time, many others raised their heads and saw the hole. There was no sound and even though it was very far from them, almost everyone could see it. Did it pierce the sky? Thought Lin Feng as he shuddering at the thought. What exactly was that light? Chapter 1301, The 3 Live Scriptures and the 10,000 Things of Creation Scriptures, Come Back, shouted an extremely loud voice. It came from the ground, startling Lin Feng. He immediately descended back to the ground again. Yen Di was standing there looking at the sky. What's going on? Asked Lin Feng. How come that light had pierced through the sky? Yen Di narrowed his eyes and said, Where did that light come from? I'm asking you, insisted Lin Feng fixedly, staring back at Yen Di. I don't need to tell you, you'll find out soon, replied Yen Di before adding, Did you get the 3 live scriptures? Lin Feng studied Yen Di's face for any clues, but it was too difficult to get any answers from him. Lin Feng landed on the ground and took out the one-paged golden scripture. Bzzz. Yen Di landed next to Lin Feng and looked at the scripture Lin Feng was holding. The seal was broken and there were 3 gigantic words written on the book, 3 live scriptures. 3 live scriptures. Lin Feng became more excited. What was the light a moment ago? You know what it was, right? Asked Lin Feng. Did you sense anything? Asked Yen Di. Lin Feng again stared at him, he opened his mouth and said slowly, My vitality was stimulated. Your vitality. Yen Di had millions of thoughts running in his head. And, said Lin Feng. Yen Di seemed captivated, he was fixedly staring at Lin Feng, motionless. And it also strongly affected my soul, said Lin Feng. Yan Di took a deep breath. His soul was affected. Empress Shi. Yan Di looked at the sky and whispered, Empress Shi, you died for cultivation, but did you really die? What do you mean? Asked Lin Feng. What did that have to do with Empress Shi? Yan Di had told him before that he wanted to go to Empress Shi's grave to find the 3 live scriptures. Don't ask so many questions. You don't need to know that much. I told you, now that I got the 9 netherworld's demon lotus, everything else is yours. You should study the 3 live scriptures very, very seriously. It's perfect for you. When you're done reading it, lend it to me and I'll help you practice it, said Yan Di smiling. Lin Feng, we're going to have a rest, said Xin Yi and Lu Fei smiling at Lin Feng. They realized that he was going to busy now, so they left. Yan Di rose up in the sky, towards the hole in the deployment spell. Lin Feng sat down cross-legged and started reading the 3 live scriptures. He used his godly awareness to inspect it. A strength attracted his godly awareness like a magnet and then scriptures flew into Lin Feng's brain. After a long time, Lin Feng recalled his godly awareness from the book and looked pensive. 3 live scriptures, 3 lives, but not 3 bodies, whispered Lin Feng. He now understood what 3 live scriptures meant. Many people had previously made the same mistake, they all thought of the 3 live scriptures as the 3 body scriptures. Nobody understands those scriptures properly, whispered Lin Feng. Did the 3 lives great emperor actually have 3 bodies and 3 lives? Initially, I thought that he had 3 skills, human, demon and Buddha, but I was so far from the truth, thought Lin Feng. He remembered when the 3 lives demon emperor had transmitted knowledge to him. He had always called that knowledge the 3 lives demon scriptures or the strength of the Haruka or whatever else, but he was wrong. Actually, those were only the demonic spells that the 3 lives great emperor had practiced, only a part of his scriptures. Xin Yi, Xin, suddenly thought Lin Feng as he raised his head. He looked at the sky, wondering where that light went. Emperor, shouted Lin Feng suddenly. A strong wind blew and a silhouette appeared in front of him, he was giggling and looking at Lin Feng in a mischievous way. Little boy, do you need me to help you practice those spells? Asked Yan Di smiling. 3 live scriptures. Lin Feng took out the 1-paged golden scripture and gave it to Yan Di. Yan Di took it and inspected it with his dazzling, fire godly awareness. He soon came back to his senses, much faster than Lin Feng. These 3 live scriptures are amazing, said Yan Di. The 3 lives of all sentient beings, past, present and future, whispered Lin Feng. Yan Di glanced at him and they both smiled. Emperor, do you want to practice it? Asked Lin Feng. Nah, I still want to practice fire cultivation, it's better for me at this point, said Yan Di before giving back the 1-paged golden scripture. Then he asked, what about you? Of course I have to practice them, said Lin Feng smiling. Yan Di looked surprised as he said, you want to study the 3 live scriptures. Even if I don't study the 3 lives techniques and spells, I can study the imperial scriptures it contains because they can be applied to many other things, explained Lin Feng. Yan Di frowned as if he had thought about something. He looked at Lin Feng and smiled, I can't wait for the day when you master the 3 live scriptures. The 3 lives great emperor made many mistakes while using them, but maybe you'll do better than him. The 3 lives great emperor made mistakes. Lin Feng was confused. How mysterious was that comment? But Lin Feng couldn't ask anything, Yan Di never answered his questions. First, you need to make your soul even stronger, said Yan Di. Then his silhouette flickered and he left. Lin Feng watched as Yan Di disappeared and smiled indifferently, I forgot to tell you something, I already practiced the surplus soul technique. Although it was extremely painful, I'm used to it by now. After Yan Di left, Lin Feng didn't study the 3 live scriptures anymore. He shook his hand and took out another book, a 1-paged golden scripture. It looked exactly like the book with the 3 live scriptures, it was even made of the same material. Plus, there was a powerful seal on it as well. There's a seal here, but it's not as powerful as the other one. Lin Feng struck it with his hand and the seal broke. It was exactly the same type of book as the 3 live scriptures. Those 2 books had been written by the same person. 10,000 Things of Creation Scriptures, read Lin Feng. Lin Feng then began reading the book with his godly awareness. Chapter 1302, Jade Emperor's Treasures. Lin Feng was captivated after he recalled his godly awareness. Those spells must have been Empress Shi's spells, which means that the one-paged golden scripture must have belonged to Empress Shi. Since the material she used to fabricate the 3 live scriptures is the same as this one, then it means that they also belong to Empress Shi, thought Lin Feng. Just like Yan Di had said, Empress Shi also used the 3 live scriptures. Now, Yan Di was more interested in the 9 Netherworld's Demon Lotus than in the 3 live scriptures. Maybe Yan Di wants to get his revenge, thought Lin Feng. He had been killed by someone long ago, so he probably hated that person more than anything. The 10,000 Things of Creation scriptures also constituted a path in themselves, but they're not suitable for me. Maybe Yu Xian will like them, thought Lin Feng smiling. Then, he put the scriptures away. Lin Feng took out a heart which became larger and turned into a palace. It was the Jade Emperor's palace. Lin Feng moved through the dragon's entrance and quickly enough, he sensed that many people were glaring at him. They had been waiting at the entrance for a long time, hoping that they could escape with a moment's notice. Lin Feng, said several voices unison, sounding like the voices from hell. Everybody stood up and looked at Lin Feng in a bestial way, like animals who wanted to eat him alive. Lin Feng glanced at them calmly. For him, many of those people were actually strangers. Back then, they had chased him after leaving the mysterious world because they wanted to steal his treasures. He had had no choice but to imprison them there. Lin Feng walked forwards. Amongst those people, there were some who had the strength at the top of the Tian Qi layer, and because they hadn't been able to practice cultivation properly in the palace, none of them had managed to break through to the Zun Qi layer. Die! Shouted a voice, and then many people threw themselves at Lin Feng, trying to kill him. However, could Tian-level cultivators from Ganyu pose a threat to Lin Feng? Golden claws and fire moved towards Lin Feng and actually hit him. However, the crowd thought that they were attacking a mountain. Nothing happened at all. Kaboom! Terrifying, purple, thunderous energies loomed overhead and lightning struck those who had just attacked Lin Feng. They instantly started burning alive and then turned to ashes. Gulp! Some people gulped down, their faces turned deathly pale. Lin Feng had become so strong. They would never be able to leave that palace. There's no hope anymore, said someone, breaking the silence. And then another eerie silence took over. Everybody unconsciously moved aside, letting Lin Feng pass. That Lin Feng and the Lin Feng who had imprisoned them before were 2 different people. Practice cultivation and maybe I'll let you out, but only if you break through to the Zun Qi layer, said Lin Feng indifferently. That was easier said than done, but they had no choice. What else could they do? Lin Feng continued walking ahead. A short time after, Lin Feng arrived on the other side, where golden rooms were on his left and right. Their gates were firmly closed. In front of him was the central hall. It was the hall where the Jade Emperor's physical body was left. The Jade Emperor knew that he had offended the Demon Emperor and would die someday, therefore, he had sealed all his belongings in the small world, so that no one would find them. But, the Demon Emperor had carved things in the Jade Emperor's palace, so the Jade Emperor would never rest in peace. Lin Feng stopped and glanced around. He released some sword qi and a light surrounded him. Break! Shouted Lin Feng, jumping forwards. Rumbling sounds appeared and a big gate in the palace broke. An ordinary Zun cultivator should be able to break that gate. It seems like the Jade Emperor did that on purpose, in case his descendants wouldn't have been able to open it, thought Lin Feng. After thinking about that, he entered that room. It was a room with many books. He walked to some bookshelves and looked at the books. Those were skills and techniques, spells for all sorts of cultivators. Those spells would be great for any cultivators who had broken through to the Tian-Chi layer, but not for Zun cultivators. The Jade Emperor left a great heritage for his descendants, thought Lin Feng smiling. He continued walking to the next gate, released Sword Chi and broke it easily. That room was full of weapons, but they weren't powerful at all, just Tian-level weapons. Lin Feng left that room and went to another one. The further he went in, the more difficult it was to break the gates, and the better the things inside were. In the next room, he found intent crystals, in the next one he found abstruse crystals, in the next one were abstruse tablets, which he took. Then holy weapons, then better skills which were suitable for Zun cultivators. Lin Feng was a bit surprised. The Jade Emperor had planned things carefully for his descendants. With all those treasures, Jade Heaven would have had no problems becoming the rulers of Ganyu. Now that I have all those treasures, I don't need to worry about the Yunhai sect anymore. If I manage things properly, the Yunhai sect will easily reign over the Shuiyu region, thought Lin Feng smiling. So far, he had found nothing suitable for his cultivation, but he still had 3 doors to open. Boom! Explosions sounded as Lin Feng opened the first of the last 3 doors. That door required the strength of the 4th Zun Qi layer. Lin Feng even found it difficult to open it. Holy marks techniques. Lin Feng entered the palace and looked at the marks on the walls. I can't wait to inspect them. Lin Feng smiled and turned to the last 2 gates. Peerless holy weapons, the Jade Emperor's imperial weapons and imperial scriptures. Those were probably the things that Lin Feng would find in those rooms. But this time Lin Feng couldn't open the gates, even with his strongest attacks. Lin Feng guessed that the Jade Emperor had planned for his descendants to become stronger, step by step, opening each door over time. Should I bring Yan Di and ask him for help, thought Lin Feng. But, he quickly gave up the idea. The Jade Emperor had created that world with gradual progression in mind, so Lin Feng was willing to respect the Jade Emperor's wishes. He would wait, become stronger and come back then to open the last 2 doors. Chapter 1303, Lin Feng, Demon God. 3 days later, Lin Feng was sitting cross-legged in the palace hall with several silhouettes behind him. All those illusions were Lin Feng's. There were 8 lights in total. The present life, the rebirth, the 3 lives of all sentient beings, past, present and future, whispered Lin Feng. Around him, an incredible soul chi appeared. Break, said Lin Feng. The 8 lights behind him gradually broke apart, each light seemingly turning into 2. Bzzz, then the lights broke apart and disappeared. I can't condense my soul, I still don't know how to control my soul strength properly, thought Lin Feng, opening his eyes. He looked slightly disappointed. He had been studying the 3 live scriptures for 3 days non-stop, however, he had to rely on a very strong soul to create a soul embryo, and then an embryo of enlightenment, and then a godly embryo. Even Lin Feng, who already knew how to practice the broken soul technique, found it extremely difficult to move on to the next level, let alone geniuses who didn't have the 3 lives Emperor's teachings. I never had difficulty learning anything before, so I thought I'd learn it easily, thought Lin Feng smiling. Then, he released his celestial book spirit. Come out, said Lin Feng. He immediately invoked the 4th page, which turned into a demonic area in front of him. Since he had peeled off a page the first time, the second time was a lot easier. Lin Feng jumped onto that golden page which had turned into the demonic area. He took out the ancient trees from his ring and they fell down into the demonic area. The Bodhi trees contained an incredible demonic intent and had many Bodhi fruits to pick. Lin Feng took one of the Bodhi fruit and threw it into his mouth, like he would a normal fruit. If another demon cultivator had seen him, he would have fumed with anger at the waste. Those fruits had incredible powers after all. Demon intent flew throughout Lin Feng's body and his body turned black. However, Lin Feng didn't intend to practice demon cultivation. All of a sudden, a gigantic and ancient tree, which was probably thousands of years old, fell down onto another corner of the demonic area. That tree even seemed alive. Lin Feng started hallucinating. It was as if he had appeared somewhere else where a small breeze was brushing against his skin and it smelt like fruits and vitality. However, everything changed abruptly. It became extremely hot and everything started burning painfully. After spring and summer, autumn arrived with a desolate energy sweeping the land. Then, it started snowing and freezing, killing the 10,000 things of creation. 4 seasons, 10,000 things of creation, the ancient tree of the 4 seasons, thought Lin Feng. In a short time, he had seen the 4 seasons, which all referred to the passing of time. It was perfect for the scriptures empress she studied, the 10,000 things of creation scriptures. My spirit allows me to study all sorts of things because I understand the origin of them. Because of that, I can understand holy marks or even use all sorts of precious treasures, like the Tian Xian stone or the season tree. Lin Feng was contemplating to himself. Lin Feng took out all the items he had found in Empress Xi's coffin chamber, the mountain and river picture scroll, the bronze mirror, the bed, and so on. Lin Feng wanted to see if he could use his spirit to understand the power behind those items. Once Lin Feng took out those items, he realized that the mountain and river's picture scroll and the bed had a connection. The rivers in the picture scroll started flowing, the mountains looked more real, it was as if they wanted to appear in the demon area. Empress Xi was on her bed and the 10,000 things of creation seemed to come to life around her. Those two things are interconnected and are both useful in improving a cultivator's understanding abilities, thought Lin Feng. Empress Xi attached a lot of importance to knowledge, so the things in her coffin chamber naturally helped her understand the 10,000 things of creation. Lying on her bed activated the picture scroll, even when sleeping. That way, she could practice cultivation non-stop. Lin Feng looked at the teapot and the pencil. Even though they were extraordinary, they had nothing to do with cultivation, at least nothing happened when he tried to activate them. The bronze mirror emitted dazzling lights which contained an incredible qi. Lin Feng walked towards the bronze mirror and looked at it. Instantly, a reflection appeared, Lin Feng's reflection. He raised his hand and looked at himself. "Is that really me?" whispered Lin Feng. The Lin Feng in the mirror was tall, he looked majestic, strong, he was wearing a long robe. He had a dazzling black sword, a black helmet on his head, his eyes diffused an incredible intent, he looked like a god of demons. Lin Feng slowly walked backwards, the lights faded a bit and he disappeared. Was that me in my previous life or me in the future? Thought Lin Feng, recalling a conversation he had with Yan Di. Yan Di told him he didn't believe in reincarnation and Lin Feng agreed with him, so could it be that the reflection was his future self? Lin Feng was skeptical, was it a simple reflection? In other words, could it be a reflection of his current state of mind, determined and strong? And what about that black sword from hell? It wasn't subject to reincarnation, it controlled its own life. Back, in a flash, the demonic world turned back into a one-paged golden scripture and returned to his celestial book spirit. The season tree, the Bodhi trees, the mountain and river picture scroll, the bed, the bronze mirror, everything went back inside his spirit. 3 days passed and Lin Feng didn't practice cultivation at all. He gave the treasures he found to his father, he gave cultivation resources to his friends and family members, skills, intent crystals, abstruse tablets, plus the resources in the small worlds. With the pure qi and so on, he was convinced that after a few years, everything would change for them. Everyone would be able to break through to the Tian qi layer if they didn't get any mental hiccups. On that day, Xueyu was calm, even though people from the other countries in the Xueyu region came to Xueyu. At least all the strong cultivators from the Ba Huang province had left. The strongest cultivators now were low-level Zun cultivators. With the treasures Lin Feng had left in Xueyu and the deployment spells Yan Di had cast, there weren't going to be any safety concerns. As long as emperors and cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer didn't show up, that is. On that day, Xin Yi and Lu Fei were holding Lin Feng's hands and walking beside him. It was a very romantic scene. Lin Feng, you and Lu Fei still haven't, whispered Xin Yi. Lin Feng smiled wryly and Lu Fei lowered her head. Lin Feng turned his head and looked at Lu Fei. He put his hand on her chin and said jokingly, "Sister, if I disobey, won't you kill me with your bow and arrows?" "Petty," said Lu Fei glancing at Lin Feng and rolling her eyes. He was bringing up the past again. "Otherwise, I can execute you on the spot," said Lin Feng laughing. Lu Fei's face turned red and Lin Feng laughed even more. Actually, the night before, Lin Feng went to Lu Fei's room, but she was already sleeping so he didn't bother her. "What are you talking about?" asked Xiaoya. She jumped onto Lin Feng's back. "Brother, I don't want you to leave. When I become the strongest cultivator in all of Ba Huang, I'll take you all with me and we'll go see your grandfather," said Lin Feng. Chapter 1304, Familiar Faces. Old friends. Lin Feng still remembered when Mr. Xiao had transmitted memories to him and disappeared because he didn't want to bring Xiaoya with him to the holy city. Lin Feng was never happy to leave his friends and family behind, but he had to walk on his own path. He was grateful to two people in particular for his newest treasures, Yan Di and the old man from the sword grave in Jiang'e. Without Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword and without Yan Di's help, he would have never obtained so many great things. In the sky above Shuiyu, Lin Feng and Yan Di were riding a huge, whistling sword. Yan Di had turned back into Cheong Qi and now, they were leaving Shuiyu. Lin Feng had already made the strong cultivators from Jiang'e go back to the Ba Huang province. And he had made the two cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer from Jiang'e stay in the two small worlds to practice cultivation. Those two from Jiang'e were terribly excited to learn that Lin Feng, their young master, had already conquered the two small worlds. "Where are we going?" asked Yan Di to Lin Feng. It seemed like they were not on their way to the Ba Huang province. "We're going to Dragon Mountain, I have some things to do there," said Lin Feng. He had already sent people there to investigate Yunfei Yang's whereabouts since he hadn't heard any news from him. Qing Meng Xian had told him that the Tang clan in Dragon Mountain were quite agitated those days. Maybe, it had something to do with Yu Yu, so he needed to go and make sure. "You're in the mood for some enjoyment, little boy," said Yan Di, lying down on the huge sword. He seemed to be getting even fatter. He didn't even have the qi of a ferocious ancient animal anymore. Lin Feng ignored him. Shuiyu wasn't far from Dragon Mountain, so their detour wouldn't take long. "Yan Di, let's go down and have some drinks," said Lin Feng. His sword disappeared and they landed on the ground. There was a palace a little bit aways. It was a bar and restaurant, the Tang's clan restaurant and bar. Lin Feng still remembered the first he met Yu Yu there. Lan Jiao had brought him there, then he had battled a bit and of course, he had drank a lot of fine liquor. Lin Feng didn't know where the Tang clan was, but that place belonged to them and he needed to start somewhere. "Let's go." Lin Feng and Yan Di entered the restaurant. It smelt like fine liquors and possessed a certain older charm. "Even though this place seems a bit old, it seems pretty good," said Yan Di. Everyone in the restaurant turned around and looked at them, a human being and a beast. What a beast, but he didn't look that strong though. Was he a Tian-level beast? And what about that young man in white clothes? He's so young and has already broken through to the Tian-Qi layer, thought many people, astonished. That guy was probably stronger than the three strongest in their younger generation. "How strong is he compared to Qing Meng Xian?" whispered someone. A few years before, Qing Meng Xian ranked amongst the three best younger cultivators of Dragon Mountain. The first two were Jun Mo Shi and Tang Yu Yu, but those two weren't staying in Dragon Mountain anymore. "He can't be stronger than Qing Meng Xian, at most, he must be as strong as Tang Yi," said someone else. But, Lin Feng and Yan Di ignored them and climbed the stairs. Nobody prevented them from going up because even though the guards could see people's cultivation levels, they couldn't see Lin Feng's. Lin Feng climbed up and arrived on the 8th floor, where there were a few tables. Lin Feng slowly walked towards a table with someone he recognized. "Piss off," said a voice. That person didn't seem to like people that much. Someone came when they heard the shout. "Who's that guy?" Surprisingly, he dares offend Lan Jiao, Qing Meng Xian's fellow disciple. "Long time no see, do you not like me anymore?" said Lin Feng laughing. Lan Jiao was suddenly petrified. She slowly stood up and turned around to see a handsome young man in white clothes. He didn't look as impulsive as in the past, rather, calm. Her mouth twitched, she even blushed. She wanted to say something, but the words didn't come out. "I don't have any pure qi stones, so would you mind inviting me to have a few drinks," said Lin Feng smiling and sitting down. Lan Jiao smiled too and put some pure qi stones in the holes on the table. Instantly, alcohol appeared on the table. Lin Feng raised his glass and tapped against Lan Jiao's glass saying, "You lost so much weight and you haven't become any stronger, what's wrong with you?" "It's all because of you," said Lan Jiao laughing. Then she downed her glass like Lin Feng. "How pleasant," said Lin Feng smiling. He hadn't drank the Tang clan's alcohol in such a long time. "Emperor, come, have a drink," said Lin Feng giving a bottle to Yan Di. Yan Di raised his head and sucked all the alcohol out of the bottle in one sip. "Dude, piss off," said Lin Feng. He only wanted to share the bottle, not give the entire thing to him. "I always drink like that," said Yan Di. Then he walked to the table and spat out some flames. "Give me more alcohol." Lin Feng was speechless. Yan Di apparently liked to drink. Lan Jiao looked at Yan Di and smiled at Lin Feng. "How have you been all these years?" "Don't I look good?" said Lin Feng, smiling and raising another bottle. Then, they continued drinking. "We should go higher up, it seems we've run out of bottles to drink here." "I don't want to wait for more bottles to arrive," said Lin Feng shrugging. Lan Jiao was speechless and then she burst into laughter, recalling the good old times. That guy liked to take the initiative. "Let's go," said Lin Feng, standing up. He wanted to go to the top floor. Like last time, an old man was standing there and said, "Excuse me, Your Excellency, you can't go up yet." "Sorry, I'll definitely go up," said Lin Feng smiling before he continued going up. The guard became upset and released Qi at Lin Feng. He could sense that Lin Feng wasn't going to be easy to deal with. "Let them go up," said a voice. The old man was surprised and nodded, "Roger, miss." Then, the old man let them pass. Like last time, quite a few people were already up there. "Is something wrong, Your Excellency?" asked someone. Lin Feng looked at the beautiful lady and said, You, when seeing that beautiful yet aggressive girl. He couldn't help but remember Tang Yu. "Your Excellency," said Tang Yi when she saw that Lin Feng was staring at her. "Stop looking at her," said a young man coldly while standing up. Lin Feng ignored him and smiled at Tang Yi. "What's your name?" Chapter 1305, Interconnected Plants. Everybody at the table was astonished. Surprisingly, that guy was flirting with Tang Yi. He was fixedly staring at her and even dared ask her for her name. How insolent! She was one of 3 strongest young cultivators of Dragon Mountain and she had many suitors. "Are you blind? Who are you to ask for Miss Tang's name?" A gigantic hand crashed onto Lin Feng's body and cracking sounds appeared. Lin Feng turned around and looked at the person. Lin Feng's eyes were pitch black and demonic intent emerged from them. How ice cold! That person's eyes were suddenly sore and he looked petrified. "Piss off," said Lin Feng in a gentle voice. Even though he said it gently, the young man felt like he had been hit with a stick on the head. His soul was shaking and he immediately fell down on his bottom, barely able to breathe. Phew, his heart was pounding, he couldn't stand a single glance. "Who are you?" asked that person. He couldn't know who Lin Feng was, but it seemed like Lin Feng wasn't using a skill to hide his cultivation level and they still couldn't see through him. Tang Yi was surprised. The people who came to the 9th level were all strong. That guy was one of the 10 strongest young cultivators of the empire. He was about as strong as her, and surprisingly, he couldn't stand a single glance from Lin Feng. I mean you no harm. If I'm not mistaken, you must be Yu Yu's little sister. Lin Feng didn't take to heart what had just transpired. Yu Yu and Lin Feng had met because of the great competition of Shuiyu, so he didn't know the other people from the Tang clan. They were a large clan in the capital city of Dragon Mountain, but since Tang Yi and Yu Yu looked so similar, he had guessed that she was Yu Yu's little sister. Tang Yi looked surprised and frowned. Lin Feng was right, she was Yu Yu's little sister. Tang Yu was the eldest, and she also had a little sister, Yi, and a little brother, Tang Rui. Do you know my sister? Asked Tang Yi. I do, said Lin Feng, smiling and nodding. Then he asked, has your sister ever come back? Tang Yi frowned at Lin Feng and asked, who are you? My name is Lin Feng. Lin Feng. Tang Yi was astonished. Lin Feng, the crowd frowned, they also knew that name. Lin Feng from the great competition of Shuiyu, thought many people. They finally remembered. He had ranked first, so it made sense that he was so strong. You're really Lin Feng? Asked Tang Yi. Lin Feng laughed and condensed his godly awareness, transmitting some memories to Tang Yi. Tang Yi inspected the memories and didn't look as scared anymore. She just smiled in a resplendent way and said, I'm taking you to the clan. All right, said Lin Feng skeptically, but nodded. Then, they left the restaurant. Tang Yi remained silent and Lin Feng followed her silently. Since she took him to the clan, it meant that she had a reason to. The Tang clan wasn't far from their restaurant. They soon entered a large courtyard and many people were surprised to see the strangers. Who's that? Asked a middle-aged man. Uncle Lin, they're my friends, replied Tang Yi. The middle-aged man didn't say anything, but many people quickly arrived in the courtyard. Sister, who is he? Asked a young man who was about 18 and looked unhappy. Tang Rui, go and find our father, said Tang Yi. If you want to see our father, then you must talk to me first, said Tang Rui, looking at Lin Feng. He ran towards Lin Feng as quickly as he could. He had broken through to the 5th Xian Qi layer, which in Dragon Mountain, wasn't so bad for a young man. Hand strike, shouted Tang Rui furiously. You're causing trouble, said Tang Yi, but she didn't do anything to stop him. Lin Feng didn't mind, since that Tang Rui was calling Tang Yi's sister, it meant he was Tang Yu's little brother. Bzzz. The hand reached Lin Feng, but didn't touch him. If you want to stay with my sister, you must ask my permission, shouted Tang Rui furiously. He turned into 2 shadows and ran towards Lin Feng. Tang Rui, stop, shouted Tang Yi. However, Lin Feng just slightly moved. 1,000 shadows, shouted Tang Rui furiously. He turned into 1,000 wind clones, which all threw themselves at Lin Feng at the same time. No matter what Tang Rui did though, he couldn't reach Lin Feng. Tang Rui, that's enough, shouted an aggressive voice. Tang Rui immediately stopped and looked at Lin Feng furiously. Uncle, said Lin Feng, bowing in front of the middle-aged man. Dad, I still want to try, said Tang Rui when he saw what Lin Feng was doing. He probably wanted to ask for Tang Yi's hand. Tang Rui's father said coldly, I'm the one who's going to try. Then the man's silhouette flickered as he threw himself at Lin Feng. A myriad of wind clones were now closing in on Lin Feng. Boom, 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 a myriad of fists bombarded Lin Feng's body, however, he still looked calm, as if nothing had happened. Break, shouted the man. The ground beneath them even cracked and the courtyard shook, but Lin Feng didn't even frown. Tang Rui was astonished, his father's attacks couldn't affect Lin Feng at all. How scary. When the father saw that his attacks weren't affecting Lin Feng, he sighed and said, Why are you not attacking? I wouldn't want to fight against you, uncle, said Lin Feng, smiling wryly. How could he fight against Yu Yu's father? Humph, did you feel guilty for Yu Yu? Asked Mr. Tang. Phew, he couldn't help but smile wryly when he heard Mr. Tang. The Tang clan definitely had some news about Yu Yu, so he asked, how is Yu Yu? What's going on? Tang Rui suddenly became anxious. He looked at Tang Yi and Tang Yi said, he's Lin Feng. Lin Feng, whispered Tang Rui, he still looked furious. The one who ranked first at the great competition of Shuiyu. The one who defeated Di Ling, Duan Wu Dao and the other strong younger cultivators from years ago. You're well informed, said Tang Yi. Then, her father left and said, come with me. Lin Feng followed him with Tang Yi trailing behind. They arrived in a courtyard where a girl seemed to live. That's where Yu Yu lives. Lin Feng nodded and glanced around. There were trees, a nice smell, overall it was a beautiful place. Those seeds were planted recently, whispered Lin Feng. Mr. Tang walked towards Lin Feng, looked at the seeds and said, indeed, they're interconnected too. Yu Yu planted them a short time ago and said that if you came, I should show them to you. Yu Yu planted them. Lin Feng's eyes twinkled. Yu Yu was alive and those plants were interconnected with her, which meant they couldn't be separated. Lin Feng didn't know what it meant. Yu Yu had always stayed with him, even when he turned into a demon she had taken risks to stay with him, but she never told him how she felt. Now, she had left these plants and a message for Lin Feng. Chapter 1306, Ambush. Uncle, where is Yu Yu? Asked Lin Feng, worried. Since Yu Yu was fine and alive, why didn't she go look for him? I don't know, Yu Yu gave me that message after she stayed for a few days, then she left. I'm her father and I don't even know when I'll see her again, said Mr. Tang sighing. Something happened, right? Said Lin Feng looking at Yu Yu's dad. Yu Yu was alive, but she hadn't gone to Tiantai to find him. Humph, why don't you ask her yourself? You didn't take care of her even though she went abroad with you. She's in love with you, so why didn't you keep her on your side? Asked Mr. Tang. Lin Feng recalled that day on the Huang Sea, where he had had no choice but to force her onto the pirate's boat. Lin Feng didn't try to explain anything though. He just said, Uncle, I made a mistake, I hope you can tell me the truth about Yu Yu. I told you all I know, I also want to know more, said the father sighing. Lin Feng, Daddy didn't lie, my sister left without saying anything. She said she'd come back though, said Tang Yi. It seemed like her father really didn't know what was happening. Lin Feng was wondering what happened to her though, what happened after the Huang Sea incident. Lin Feng remained silent for a few seconds, nodded and said, Uncle, if she comes back, tell her to go to Tiantai in the Ba Huang province to find me. Ba Huang province. Tang Rui was incredulous. He walked over to Lin Feng and said, Lin Feng, since you're my sister's husband, can you take me to the Ba Huang province? Lin Feng was surprised, sister's husband? Tang Rui, said Tang Yi speechless. You're so impolite, said Tang Rui's father, but Tang Rui smiled and said, Dad, Yu Yu said she liked him, she even planted those seeds for him. He's absolutely Yu Yu's future husband in any case. Tang Rui's father rolled his eyes. Dad, look, he's so young and yet, stronger than you. Let me go abroad with him, said Tang Rui, hiding behind Lin Feng. Lin Feng laughed, that little boy was decent at scheming. Come here, shouted the father furiously. Tang Rui didn't want to, he said instead, Yu Yu said it, a man should travel, so why would I stay locked up in Dragon Mountain? Humph. Yu Yu also told Yi to find a husband here in Dragon Mountain. That's because of her personality, a man shouldn't do that. I should go abroad, become stronger, reach the clouds. I should become a hero. A woman is different, I'm not like Yi, argued Tang Rui angrily. However, Lin Feng smiled wryly. Tang Rui was right and Lin Feng had similar beliefs. He thought he had to go abroad and become stronger, but he didn't want Lu Fei and Xianyi to come with him because he wasn't strong enough yet. You're too weak. You can't go abroad yet. Anyone could kill you easily. Once you defeat me, then I'll let you go abroad, said the father furiously. Young people were all the same. Even Mr. Tang had traveled abroad, but the world was too big and too dangerous. Brother, said Tang Rui looking at Lin Feng, seemingly asking for support. Lin Feng shrugged and took out a ring he had stolen from a Zun cultivator he killed and gave to Tang Rui, saying, there are many things inside this ring. Practice cultivation, defeat your daddy, and then if you want to go abroad, come to Tiantai in the Ba Huang province to find me. Tang Rui took the ring and nodded. He knew he couldn't go against his father's will anymore. All right. What weapons do you like to use? Asked Lin Feng. Halberds and spears, replied Tang Rui. Lin Feng took out his halberd, causing Tang Rui to drop his jaw. Even Mr. Tang was astonished. That was a legendary holy weapon. I broke the connection I have to it, so you can use it now, said Lin Feng, handing over the halberd he had fixed in Fortune City to Tang Rui. Thank you so much, brother, said Tang Rui, amazed. Lin Feng walked to Tang Yi and smiled, you still haven't told me your name. Tang Yi looked at him and said, Tang Yi. Yi, said Lin Feng smiling. He took out another ring he had stolen from a Zun cultivator and gave it to her. Sister, don't you want to become the best cultivator in Dragon Mountain? Take it, said Tang Rui. Tang Yi took the ring and said, thank you. Yi, take this Taoist robe made of feathers too, said Lin Feng, taking out another holy weapon. Mr. Tang was astonished. He couldn't even see Lin Feng's cultivation level and he couldn't even see how powerful the holy weapons were. Uncle, I won't be not disturbing you any longer, I'm off, said Lin Feng. Wait, shouted Tang Yi. She took out a ring and gave it to Lin Feng, take it, you will like it. I made a lot of them. All right, said Lin Feng smiling in a resplendent way. He already knew that it contained a lot of hot unit. Goodbye, said Lin Feng, leaving with Yan Di and Lan Jiao. The Tangs looked at Lin Feng with feelings which were hard to describe. After Lin Feng left the Tangs, he didn't leave Dragon Mountain immediately. He went to the Imperial Palace of Dragon Mountain first. He wanted to sue Jun Mo Shi's father since he was in Dragon Mountain. Lin Feng offered some news about Jun Mo Shi to Jun Mo Shi's father, who was extremely happy to learn that Jun Mo Shi had become a young master in the Celestial Palace of the Immortals. He was a bit sad though, because he had hoped Jun Mo Shi would take over after him. Lin Feng didn't stay too long. He gave Jun Mo Shi's father some gifts and left Dragon Mountain. Then, he flew in the direction of the Ba Huang province. Lin Feng crossed Ganyu. He didn't need to get his revenge so quickly. Even though he had become quite strong already, destroying a few influential groups in Ganyu wouldn't be that easy. He would have to go back to Shuiyu later and then, he would take care of his enemies. He had solved the problems in Shuiyu once again, found out that Yu Yu was still alive, so Lin Feng was already a bit relieved. He would see Yu Yu again, definitely. He just didn't have any news from Yunfei Yang yet. Lin Feng was flying on his gigantic sword, crossing over several countries. Eventually, he arrived in a familiar place again, the northern Ba Huang province. At that moment, Lin Feng was sitting cross-legged on his sword. Yan Di was lying down nonchalantly. At that moment, explosion sounds spread in the air. It was as if the sword had arrived in a restricted area and stopped. Lin Feng jumped forwards. Kaboom! A gigantic hand descended from the sky towards Lin Feng. Someone is attacking me by surprise, thought Lin Feng. He hadn't thought that someone would attack as soon as he came back. Die, said Lin Feng. His sword streaked across the sky, towards the gigantic hand. Slash, the sword chi was destroyed and the gigantic hand continued moving towards him. Boom boom, demonic clouds invaded the skies and collided with the gigantic hand. Lin Feng shook violently, his blood seemed to be boiling. A wound even appeared on his chest. There were 3 people hiding above the clouds, they looked quite sanguinary. "Hand over your rings and weapons and we'll spare your life, you useless dog," said the leader of the group in a cold way. "And also, Lin Feng, take off all your clothes," said another one of them. Lin Feng said coldly, "How do you know that my name is Lin Feng?" Those people had been waiting for him and they were extremely strong. Chapter 1307, Sanguinary Battle. You're the first Tian level disciple of Tian Tai, everybody knows you. "Now, stop talking shit and hand over your rings, you worthless dog," said that person ferociously. Lin Feng was intrigued. Even though those people seemed strong, they didn't seem very well informed. Was he only the first Tian level disciple of Tian Tai? "Who sent you?" asked Lin Feng. "Stop talking shit or we'll kill you." The one who had called him Lin Feng then jumped towards him and a gigantic sanguinary hand descended from the sky. "Come out." Lin Feng released his Tianji sword. They obviously didn't just want his rings and clothes, it was only an excuse. Lacerate. Lin Feng used his Desolate Xana attack and cut a large hole in the oncoming attack. "You're not weak, little boy, but you dared attack 3 incredible assassins from the northern part of Ba Huang, so you will die," said that person. His blood abstruse energy was terrifying. He had managed to destroy the sword energies, he had broken through to the 5th Zun Qi layer, and he understood 5 different types of abstruse energies, just like Lin Feng. Besides, the 2 cultivators next to him didn't seem that much weaker than the leader. Yen Di didn't do anything, instead, he looked excited. In his opinion, Lin Feng was still learning and in order to become stronger, he had to fight people who were stronger than him. "Nirvana Sunya Destruction," said Lin Feng, condensing 3 different types of abstruse energies into his sword technique. His attack oppressed the gigantic sanguinary hand which already had a hole in it. At the same time, he tried flying away. "You think you can escape?" "Roaring blood ocean," shouted the person. In a flash, Lin Feng was surrounded by a torrential amount of blood qi. Desolate explosion. Lin Feng's Tianji sword attacked the sanguinary qi, making it falter. At the same time, he released some demonic qi which dashed to the skies. With his demonic energies, Lin Feng didn't have the strength of the 9th Tian Qi layer, but the 2nd Zun Qi layer. "Celestial demonic territory," said Lin Feng. The sky turned black as demonic reigned over the land and skies. "Ha, you also practice demonic cultivation. Interesting, your demon skills are powerful, I'm going to be rich after defeating you," said the enemies, laughing loudly. Then, a sanguinary hand appeared in front of Lin Feng. To look that bloody and horrifying, the cultivator using it must have killed millions of people. "I'll show you what a butcher really is," said the enemy. Lin Feng's blood could barely flow, his pure qi seemed petrified, the enemy's sanguine abstruse energies were starting to influence his blood. "Blood explosion," shouted the enemy furiously. Lin Feng felt like a sausage on the fire, his face turned extremely red under the pressure. Cultivators needed to level their abstruse energies to use them at their fullest potential. "Get away," shouted Lin Feng. Inside the celestial demonic territory, empty space energies appeared and Lin Feng suddenly disappeared. "Come out," shouted the enemy furiously bombarded the space with sanguinary punches. He knew that Lin Feng was using a weapon to hide. "Die!" Lin Feng shouted furiously as he released more demonic intent which contained sword qi. Lin Feng reappeared with an infinite amount of sword qi penetrating his enemy's body. "Arg!" That person's face turned deathly pale as blood splashed, but while shouting in pain, he also released a sanguinary hand attack again. "Blood curse," shouted Lin Feng as he took out his cursing scepter. He quickly cursed the enemy's blood and the latter gave a horrible shriek. He disappeared again and reappeared 10 meters away. He was using a Peerless holy weapon to do that, the Xana empty space robe. Cough, however, Lin Feng was injured, he even coughed up blood. But nevertheless, he still looked determined while facing down his enemy. Terrifying cursing strength surrounded the space. Using the Peerless holy weapon, his enemy's blood was actually corroding. "Help me," shouted the cultivator furiously. He tried to get out of the demonic area, however, Lin Feng wouldn't let him go. He used his Xiao Yao agility technique and quickly caught up to him. Chaotic godly curse. He shook his scepter and the enemy's heart started corroding. He quickly lost his determination, his thoughts were a mess. The cursing energies were too powerful. Boom boom. Someone was attacking the demonic area from above. They wanted to help their friend, however, Lin Feng wasn't about to give them any chances either. He jumped forwards and attacked with his Tianji sword. His enemy was corroding twice as fast by the cursing energies already, so Lin Feng wasn't too concerned about him. The Tianji sword streaked across the sky and his blood suddenly exploded outward. He was dead. Kaboom! The demonic area was finally destroyed. Lin Feng was visible to his enemies again, however, one of them were already dead. A cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer had been killed by a cultivator at the 9th Tian Qi layer? Is he really only the first cultivator from Tian Tai? Wondered the leader, petrified. Those people had been stealing from people their entire life and they had always chosen weaker victims. A short time before, someone had asked them to kill Lin Feng. When they learned that the victim had only broken through to the Tian Qi layer and was extremely rich, they hesitated. Was such a thing possible? But, when the one who had assigned them the task had told them that it was Lin Feng, the first Tian-level disciple from Tian Tai, they had immediately understood why he'd be so rich. It was absolutely normal to look for mercenaries to kill such people because the politics behind doing it yourself. Unfortunately, those mercenaries didn't know the outside world that well. They didn't know that Lin Feng had already killed Zun cultivators, otherwise, they wouldn't have agreed to do it. How'd he do it? Wondered the two other cultivators. Lin Feng had already hidden his cursing scepter because he couldn't show anyone else that he was also a black mage. There was a mountain range in the distance where two silhouettes were standing. In front of them was a young man whose eyes were dazzling and his robe was fluttering in the wind majestically. It seemed like he could see through empty spaces, empty space eyes. Behind him was an old man. Even though he was calmly standing there, he was an extraordinary cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer. "Useless piece of trash," said the young man. "Young master, in the northern part of Ba Huang, we don't have that many people. At least, they can't be as strong as some cultivators from influential imperial groups. Luckily, there's a cultivator of the 6th Zun Qi layer. If he attacks, then Lin Feng would be forced to use Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword." The old man also had the empty space vision and could easily see what was going on. "My goal is to make him use Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword," said the young man. He looked at the old man and said, "I believe he can't use it as he wishes." The old man looked contemplated a bit before saying, "You mean that, everybody knows that Lin Feng has used Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword 3 times already, each time he uses it, he's in a critical situation. During other difficult situations, he often asks for the strong cultivators from Jiang'a to help. If he could use Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword as he wished, why would he use it as a last resort all of the time? Even if he didn't want to use it carelessly and wanted to use it only when he faced stronger cultivators, why would he still ask the strong cultivators from Jiang'a for help?" said that young man. Chapter 1308, Condensing Abstruse Energies. Lin Feng didn't know that those people were using their empty space vision to observe him from afar. Influential imperial groups had various methods to handle things and empty space vision wasn't something he was watching out for. "You attack him head-on and I'll use my godly awareness to attack his godly awareness," said the leader to the other one. They were mercenaries, so they were vigilant and strong. Lin Feng had already killed their friend, so they couldn't underestimate him. "All right," the other one nodded, his blood started boiling. Very quickly, a hurricane emerged around his body and surrounded him. That's a wind spirit which turned into a blood spirit capable of becoming a hurricane filled with wind abstruse energy. That's the only explanation. Lin Feng figured. Slash, slash, the terrifying hurricane moved towards Lin Feng, tearing apart everything in its path. Lin Feng also released wind abstruse energies and used his agility technique. He released a few sword attacks to distract the wind, but the hurricane was too fast. It weakened the sword energies before finally destroying them. Die, shouted the other strong cultivator. He released his godly awareness and attacked Lin Feng's own godly awareness. They're both strong alone, not to mention when they combine their attacks. Lin Feng was being pushed back. He was right, one of them had broken through to the 4th Zun Qi layer and controlled 3 different types of strength to attack him. If it wasn't for him using 2 holy weapons, he couldn't have killed the other one before. Godly Awareness Palace. Lin Feng, quickly sealing their godly awareness with his godly awareness palace. The other godly awareness attacked his godly awareness palace and it seemed like it would break out at any moment. Lin Feng's soul was shaking violently. At the same time, another hurricane was thrown at Lin Feng. He again was pushed backwards, sword chi whistling. I'm going to die if they continue attacking me like this, thought Lin Feng. He couldn't destroy the hurricane, and he couldn't run away. The hurricane attacks were too powerful, so he had to defend himself constantly. The godly awareness attacks were terrifying too. If he was too careless, he would instantly die from it. Those bastards, thought Lin Feng. At that moment, he sensed terrifying energies above him. A gigantic hand appeared in the clouds, the oppressive energies it emitted were suffocating Lin Feng. Cloud abstruse energies, intangible and destructive. Die. Lin Feng used his sword to cut through the clouds, however, the intangible cloud hand continued descending from the sky, oppressing Lin Feng's body. Explosions sounded and Lin Feng coughed up blood, his face had turned deathly pale. That cultivator had broken through to the 6th Zun Qi layer and his cloud abstruse energy was level 5. If it had been any stronger, Lin Feng would have died. Lin Feng was propelled downward 10 meters, but his blood was boiling furiously. He released vitality abstruse energies to recover. If I can't cut through the clouds with 3 types of abstruse energies, maybe I need to use 4, thought Lin Feng. He continued moving away while protecting himself with his godly awareness palace. His enemies didn't want to give him any time to rest though. They were faster than Lin Feng. Lin Feng was lucky that he practiced the Xiaoyao agility technique and could fuse it together with the empty space agility technique and wind abstruse energies. My spirit is a dark-type spirit, I am stronger in the darkness, thought Lin Feng. His eyes became pitch black and ice-cold. Lin Feng was concentrating on the wind, the space around him seemed to calm down even though he was actually still in the middle of all those chaotic energies. Wind, apart from speed, is sharp, destructive and can envelop things, thought Lin Feng, studying the hurricane. No matter what sword technique I use, I can't cut through the wind because it absorbs my sword energies, thought Lin Feng. Kaboom! The intangible cloud hand appeared in the sky again and attacked Lin Feng, making him cough up more blood. His body was propelled backwards again. He then released more vitality abstruse energies to recover. It is important to note that since he was constantly moving backwards, the attack couldn't do the most damage. Otherwise, he'd be a bloody pulp already. Lin Feng's eyes looked sharp, ice-cold, terrifying. He was holding his Tianji sword with both hands and it was emitting sharp, whistling sounds. Nirvana Sunya destruction, thunder, empty space and desolate abstruse energies, but I can include wind abstruse energies in it too. The Tianji sword was glowing with the infusion of 4 types of abstruse energies. The sword already had a few souls, wind, thunder, empty space, and desolate energies. Therefore, condensing them together was a bit easier. Slash, slash, a terrifying wind surrounded Lin Feng again, however, this time Lin Feng didn't escape. His pitch-black eyes made him look like a madman as he pointed his Tianji sword towards the hurricane. The sword itself had turned into a hurricane as well. Kacha! The hurricane tore Lin Feng's clothes apart and unveiled his armor. Lin Feng could still see everything with his pitch-black eyes, even while inside the hurricane. Pierce, said Lin Feng. His Tianji sword turned into a beam of light as it pierced through the hurricane, leaving a hole in its wake. Ah, a horrible shriek sounded. The wind was propelled far off into the distance and things quickly calmed down. Blood dripped from the sky and the cultivator's body reappeared. From head to foot, he was gravely wounded. Die, shouted the cultivator furiously. Another cloud hand descended from the sky and tried to oppress Lin Feng. Lin Feng couldn't block the attack, so he disappeared from where he was and appeared in front of the other cultivator, the one who already gravely wounded. He used his sword and slashed shoulder to foot. Another cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer was killed. Phew, the cultivator of the 6th Zun Qi layer took a deep breath, but he still looked upset. He had just lost 2 of his friends. Lin Feng turned around, his pitch-black eyes staring into the other cultivator's soul. Come back, that cultivator had his godly awareness retreat from Lin Feng's third eye before saying, we will meet again, someday. Then he disappeared into the clouds. A cultivator of the 6th Zun Qi layer was actually running away from a Tian-level cultivator. Bullshit, said Yan Di as he landed next to Lin Feng. He hadn't used his full strength yet, he was just being overly cautious. Lin Feng was happy that he had managed to protect himself. Besides, Lin Feng knew that the higher one's cultivation level reached, the more likely their limits would be reached and that they might not level up again. So, the next time they saw each other, that guy might still be at the 6th Zun Qi layer. Chapter 1309, Chaos in Ba Huang, maybe someone had sent them. They didn't seem to hate me at all, therefore he felt like he didn't have to chance dying because of me, said Lin Feng. Even though the enemies knew his name was Lin Feng, they didn't seem to know much more. Your attacks combining several types of abstruse energies are not bad, but your fusions are not perfect. Otherwise, with 4 types of abstruse energies and your swordsmanship, you could destroy those guys easily. A fusion of 4 types of level 2 abstruse energies is more powerful than one level 5 wind abstruse energy, explained Yan Di. Besides, don't be too satisfied. At their level, those people were quite weak. There are real geniuses who have broken through to the 5th Zun Qi layer and their abstruse energies are already level 7 or 8. If you encounter such cultivators, they'll definitely kill you. Alright. Lin Feng nodded. Yan Di always seized opportunities to criticize Lin Feng, but Lin Feng knew that he was right. Yan Di had seen enough geniuses in his life to give Lin Feng advice. Lin Feng already knew that his abstruse energy fusions weren't perfect, but what could he do apart from practicing? Having abstruse energies fused together wasn't easy. Apart from learning special spells which required using abstruse energies, which he already didn't want to do because he had decided to walk his own path and rely on himself to understand swords, he couldn't do much. Let's go. A gigantic sword again appeared under Lin Feng and Yan Di's feet before they streaked across the sky. After they left, the young man at the top of the mountain looked furious. Those pieces of trash. They couldn't even manage to kill a cultivator of the Tian Qi layer, said Qi Tian Su. He, even if it didn't work this time, at the meeting of the emperors, you'll have the opportunity to kill him, young master, said a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer, smiling. Qi Tian Su and Ho Qing Lin were the geniuses of their generation, they were stronger than most Zun cultivators. Unless he was facing a group of extremely strong cultivators, like those from Jiang'a, he wouldn't have to worry. We'll see, in any case, Lin Feng must die, said Qi Tian Su, murder filled his eyes. The Qi clan hated Lin Feng for many reasons, amongst those were the 3 cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer who had died trying to kill him. Everybody already knew that the Qi clan only had a dozen cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer left. Those 3 peak Zun Qi cultivators, 2 sky-absorbing picture scrolls, 1 holy weapon, Qi Tiansheng had died, Qi Jiao had been kidnapped. They had to settle accounts with Lin Feng, no matter the cost. Let's go, said Qi Tian Su to the other cultivator. They weren't going to follow Lin Feng. The northern part of Ba Huang was Tiantai's territory, and it wasn't exactly a calm time. There were battles everywhere, even inside Tianjing City. Finally, Lin Feng landed on the flight of stairs leading to Tiantai. Many people came to greet him as he arrived. "You're back," said Lin Ruotian, smiling at Lin Feng. They were now on the 8th group of steps and it wasn't that difficult anymore. "How come you're injured?" Lin Feng sensed that Lin Ruotian was hurt. "Lin Feng, you probably still don't know what has changed since you left Ba Huang," said Lin Ruotian, smiling. "Tianlong Divine Castle's people attacked me. Our fellow disciples and I were going out, but people from Tianlong Divine Castle were waiting for us." "Hee, but we killed a bunch of them," said Meng Ba, descending the flight of steps towards them. Tianlong Divine Castle. Lin Feng's eyes were filled with cold lights. "What has happened since I left?" asked Lin Feng. "Many big things happened. The emperors started fighting after they came back from a smaller country. The Qi clan and the Sikong clan joined hands to fight the Wen clan. Many of their disciples died in those battles. In the brutal part of Ba Huang, the mountain of flowers and fruit, the island of the Thunderbirds and Mang Niu Mountain attacked the bestial imperial palace. In the sanguinary part of Ba Huang, the mysterious abyss of sufferings and the Devamara palace also started fighting, but their disciples fight all the time. In the celestial part of Ba Huang, the celestial thunder temple is rising and it seems that nobody can stop them anymore. They might even annihilate the Heavens of Desire's palace and the Church of Desire. And we're constantly fighting Tianlong Divine Castle and the Sunset Pavilion," explained Meng Ba. He looked excited, like he enjoyed the chaos. "Of course, there's a reasonable explanation for all these things. The meeting of the emperors, which happens every 100 years, will influence the entire province. Tiantai hasn't existed for long, but more disciples will be recruited, just for the meeting of the emperors," said Lin Ruotian. Lin Feng had heard Muchen talk about the meeting of the emperors before, but he didn't know what it was exactly. "Do you know what the meeting of the emperors is?" asked Lin Feng to Lin Ruotian and Meng Ba. "I don't know much. Apart from Ba Huang, Zhou Yu is also going to be involved. All in all, many different influential imperial groups and some smaller groups are going to attend. Some people are already starting to rise for the occasion. Even in Tiantai, some of our mysterious disciples are traveling around and doing great things," said Lin Ruotian. "Last time, they won against the strong cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle thanks to a fellow disciple who was actually a direct disciple. He had only broken through to the 2nd Zun Qi layer, but he was strong enough to kill cultivators of the 4th and 5th Zun Qi layer. Surprisingly, Zhou Yu is also going to join in," thought Lin Feng. The meeting of the emperors was probably going to be more complex than he had previously imagined, especially considering everything that was already happening in Ba Huang. By the way, Lin Feng, Yang Zhan betrayed Tiantai and joined Tianlong Divine Castle with his sister Yang Ziyi. The Yang clan is going to move to the western part of Ba Huang soon. Our teachers and fellow disciples don't have time to pay attention to them, but we, and some fellow disciples who are going to pay a visit to the Yang clan and take care of them. Do you want to come?" Lin Feng had Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword, so he could easily kill cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer. "They're moving, so it must be a trap," reasoned Lin Feng. "The Yang clan wasn't that stupid. Of course we know that. The Yang clan moving there is a provocation, they're challenging us because they think they can easily kill us," said Lin Ruotian. "Who's going?" asked Lin Feng. He couldn't tell them that he couldn't use Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword whenever he wished, and that cultivators of the 5th Zun Qi layer or above were a bit too strong for him. "Our second fellow disciple is practicing cultivation these days, so Ruoxia is coming and 2 other direct disciples, as well as a few fellow disciples of the Zun Qi layer," replied Lin Ruotian. Lin Feng figured that wasn't a bad group, but he was worried that Tianlong Divine Castle would send cultivators at the peak of the Zun Qi layer. Chapter 1310, Tiantai's disaster, Lin Rua Tian, tell Rua Xia that Tianlong Divine Castle's people are sly, they've proved it each time I fought them, said Lin Feng. Tianlong Divine Castle had probably been plotting against Tiantai for a while now, so Tiantai needed to be vigilant. Lin Feng, do you intend to come or not? Asked Lin Rua Tian. I need to practice cultivation for a few days, so I can't come, said Lin Feng smiling. He didn't explain himself too much. Since he couldn't use Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword, he wouldn't be able to do much there. All right, nodded Lin Rua Tian. Lin Feng then walked up the stairs and arrived in Tiantai. Instantly, Lin Feng could sense a strong celestial qi. Meng Qing was sitting on the main road, looking like a goddess. She's still practicing cultivation. Lin Feng smiled. Meng Qing had been practicing cultivation for what seemed like a long time. She was probably about to break through to the Zun Qi layer now. Lin Feng continued walking ahead, he didn't want to disturb Meng Qing. With the strength of the Zun Qi layer, Meng Qing would probably threaten some mid-ranged Zun cultivators. Lin Feng arrived in front of the mist. In the past, he wasn't able to see through it. Then, Lin Feng crossed the mist. Yan Di chose to lie down, nonchalantly. After crossing the mist, Lin Feng saw a silhouette, his own silhouette. However, he was a lot stronger this time, he understood how to control force more so. But Lin Feng wasn't the Lin Feng he used to be. He continued walking and passed in front of his self. Force oppressed him, but his own self did the same. The ground was slightly shaking and his blood started boiling. He took a step forward and a force, 10 times more powerful than Lin Feng's force, crashed on him. Break! Lin Feng attacked it with his sword qi. His sword attacks now contained several types of abstruse energies. His reflection attacked too, but Lin Feng immediately destroyed that attack. Instantly, the mist dispersed. He had succeeded. If I used pure strength, I wouldn't be able to win against myself whose attacks are 10 times more powerful, but using abstruse energies, I easily succeeded, whispered Lin Feng. In front of him, the road and the buildings became even more distinct, but remained somewhat blurry. Lin Feng continued walking, but mist appeared again and another Lin Feng was waiting for him. What was going on? He had defeated his own self once, so why did another Lin Feng appear? Boom! Lin Feng immediately released energies and attacked his self using sword qi. Kaboom! His copy attacked too and the ground shook. Lin Feng sensed that his blood was boiling even more, so this time, he had taken a step and had almost coughed up blood. Lin Feng raised his head and observed the force from the earth and sky. Can I do that? Thought Lin Feng. Just where did that force come from? A moment before, his own self's force surpassed his own by 10 times, this one now 100 times that. If I could borrow 100 times more force than I have now, I wouldn't even need skills or techniques, I could kill cultivators of the 4th Zun Qi layer like they were ordinary people, thought Lin Feng. When he condensed 2 types of abstruse energies, his attacks were around 5 times more powerful. With 3 types of abstruse energies, another 5 times. Theoretically, he could multiply his strength by up to 25, but that was extremely complicated to realize. It was already difficult to condense 2 kinds of abstruse energies together properly, so in reality, he could multiply the power of his attacks by only 20 or so. If he managed to condense 4 types of abstruse energies properly, the power of his attacks could multiply by 125, but in reality, Lin Feng's real attacks were only multiplied by 60 or 70 at their best. It meant that even with his Tianji sword and 4 types of energies, the power of Lin Feng's attacks were not even multiplied by 100, unless his abstruse energies were fused together perfectly. Die! Lin Feng was filled with an indomitable will as he condensed destructive sword qi with 4 different types of abstruse energies and attacked his clone. Lin Feng had named that attack, Veu Death. However, his other self attacked too and performed a punch attack. Qi rose to the skies and each thread of energy was 100 times more powerful than Lin Feng's normal attacks. His sword chi was immediately destroyed by the punch. At the same, Lin Feng shook violently. Unless I add another kind of abstruse energy, I won't be able to beat the illusion, whispered Lin Feng. The flight of stairs contained a force which was 10 times stronger than his own, but now he was facing an illusion who had a strength 100 times more powerful than his own. If he succeeded, would he then face an illusion of himself who'd have 1,000 times more strength than him? Lin Feng tried using variants of his sword attacks with demonic energies, trying to perfect the attacks. Yan Di glanced at Lin Feng and thought, Tiantai's emperors racked their brains to create such exercises for their disciples to practice. They used enlightenment strength, not bad. Lin Feng didn't notice the time pass. He fought himself for 10 days, on that 10th day, many people arrived in Tiantai. The leader of the group was the best of the Zun-level disciples who had become a direct disciple. His eyes were bloodshot and he looked furious. Ruo Xia was surrounded by other imperial cultivation disciples who looked just as ferocious, hideous. All the Tian-level cultivators who were there had lost at least an arm, meaning blood was dripping everywhere. What's going on? Ruo Xia, brother. Tian Long Divine Castle, they indeed have sly methods, said Lin Ruo Tian. Ruo Xia, said Tian Chi the Buddhist monk, what happened? Did you bring an empty space boat? Brother, the Yang clan and Tian Long Divine Castle joined hands to attack us. The Yang clan didn't intend to move at all. When we went to their clan, the around us suddenly closed. Zun cultivators from Tian Long Divine Castle and the Yang clan joined hands and started killing our Zun cultivators. They didn't kill any of the Tian level cultivators, they just cut off their arms. When I broke through the empty space, it was already to this point. Brother, there must be traitors inside Tiantai, said Lin Ruo Tian. Tian Long Divine Castle and the Yang clan wanted Tiantai to collapse on itself. Traitors? Tian Chi the Buddhist monk said, have the people from Tian Long Divine Castle and the Yang clan left? No, they haven't. When we left, they said they'd wait for Tiantai to come back again, that they'd kill all our Zun cultivators then and cut the arms off of all our Tian level cultivators. I don't believe they dispatched their best cultivators yet. Tian Long must have even stronger cultivators in the background, said Ruo Xia. Chapter 13:11. Going to the Yang clan. Tian Chi remained silent for a moment after hearing out Lin Ruo Tian. It was difficult to control all the imperial cultivation disciples in Tiantai. In the past, traitors weren't a problem because the tensions between the different influential imperial groups weren't as bad, so traitors were pointless. But it was different now, there were battles everywhere in Ba Huang, great wars even. Tian Long Divine Castle had probably sent some people last time to participate in the recruitment process of Tiantai. It seems like Tian Long Divine Castle really wants to destroy Tiantai this time. While preparing for the meeting of the emperors, thought Tian Chi Tian Long Divine Castle was now occupying the Yang clan's territory, thus provoking Tiantai in their own territory. Of course, Tian Chi knew that Tian Long Divine Castle was a powerful group. They had existed for thousands of years, so they obviously had to have plenty of strong cultivators at the top of the Zun Chi layer even. Tiantai only had 2 cultivators at the top of the Zun Chi layer, Mu Chen and another disciple, but their second fellow disciple was also about to reach the top of the Zun Chi layer. 10 years later, Tiantai would probably a lot stronger, but that implied they made it that far. What happened? Lin Feng heard what Lin Ruo Tian had said. They had cut one arm off each of the Tian level cultivators because they couldn't recover them at the Tian level. Lin Feng, Tian Long Divine Castle attacked us. Lin Ruo Tian's face was deathly pale. He explained everything to Lin Feng again. The Yang clan also dares fight. Lin Feng hadn't expected that. I still have some vitality water, heal yourselves first, said Lin Feng, taking out a jar of vitality water and giving some to everybody. Vitality water could help cultivators grow missing body parts and even increase their strength. Even after Ruo Xia used it, he sensed an incredible vitality flow throughout his body. After Lin Ruo Tian, Meng Ba and the other Tian-level cultivators used the vitality water, their cheeks were filled with color again. Lin Feng also released vitality abstruse energies on them, however, their arms still couldn't grow back. They would need to wait to break through to the Zun Qi layer before they could condense their blood and grow back limbs. Vitality abstruse energies, everybody was surprised. Lin Feng controlled vitality abstruse energies as well. Lin Ruotian was relieved after that, even though Lin Feng couldn't regrow their arms, he had at least disinfected their wounds, so they wouldn't rot. Lin Feng, thank you. At least the wounds won't get worse now, and when I break through to the Zun Qi layer, I'll be able to make my arm grow back, said Lin Ruotian, feeling grateful. It's just an arm. I'll soon break through to the Zun Qi layer. I'm not feeling that dispirited, said Meng Ba. He was still annoyed though. We're brothers, said Lin Feng smiling and shaking his head. They had done a lot for him in the past, so he would make sure to take care of them. Brother, what do you intend to do? Asked Lin Feng to Tian Qi, our great disciple, is secretive about his whereabouts. Our second fellow disciple is about to reach the top of the Zun Qi layer, so we are limited at the moment. Tian Long Divine Castle is also motivated to annihilate us now, so they'll use their full strength, said Tian Qi. Everybody looked dispirited. They all felt guilty for being so weak. Brother, Tian Long Divine Castle is in northern Ba Huang and they're provoking us, can we sit here and do nothing, said a Zun cultivator furiously. Wang Xiao, what should we do in your opinion? Asked Tian Qi to that Zun cultivator. Can't we contact our great fellow disciple? Asked Wang Xiao. If Mu Chen participated, he could destroy Tian Long Divine Castle's people. But Tian Qi shook his head, making everybody feel dispirited. Besides that, we can interrupt our second disciple in his cultivation, or we can gather all our strong cultivators and go to the Yang clan. It's important to remember that Lin Feng has Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword, so he can easily kill cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer. We must get our revenge, said Wang Xiao. Tian Qi nodded and looked at Lin Feng. What do you think, Lin Feng? You can decide, I'll follow, said Lin Feng in a low voice. Tian Qi remained silent and said, wait for me, I'm going to the sky above the sky to see if I can't interrupt our second fellow disciple while he's practicing. Lin Feng, Ruoxia, Qing Tian, come with me. Lin Feng, Ruoxia, and Mo Qing Tian were all the emperor's direct disciples, so they were permitted to go to the sky above the sky. The four of them left. Lin Feng looked at Mo Qing Tian, who according to Tian Qi, was also one of his 10 fellow disciples. Mo Qing Tian was wearing a robe with stars on it, he looked young and particularly handsome. He looked at Lin Feng, smiled and nodded, I heard of your achievements, you seem outstanding. You're flattering me, brother, said Lin Feng smiling and shaking his head. They soon arrived in the sky above the sky and they landed in a calm and tranquil mountain, but it seemed like Emperor Yu wasn't there. What do you think? Asked Tian Qi. Are you talking about Wang Xiao? Asked Mo Qing Tian smiling thinly. Indeed, said Tian Qi nodding. We first need to ask Mu Chen, then, we can check if our second fellow disciple can stop practicing. If he's really the traitor, it'd mean that Tian Long is only worried about Mu Chen and that they even want to kill our second disciple. Ruoxia looked upset. Ruoxia, did you just use telepathy to tell me that Tian Long Divine Castle released you for a purpose? Yes, otherwise, I couldn't have come back. They only let me off to further infuriate Tian Tai, replied Ruoxia. Chapter 13:12, Trouble, Killing People. Tian Yuan City was where the Yang clan resided. Many people were already waiting there, coming from thousands of miles around just to see the battle between Tian Tai and Tian Long Divine Castle. Last time, Tian Long Divine Castle and the Yang clan joined hands to fight Tian Tai, so this next battle was inevitable. They wanted to destroy Tian Tai and the Yang clan had become their battlefield. Around Tian Yuan City, clouds were rolling in the air and a mystical boat appeared from them. We're almost in Tian Yuan City. Everybody was releasing a deadly chi, creating a picture which looked like a desolate evening in autumn. "There's a mountain range, let's go over there," said Tian Chi. The boat then descended from the sky and landed on that mountain range. Everybody looked at Tian Chi, they didn't understand why he was having them stop there. "First, we need someone to inspect Tian Yuan City. The others must stay here, understood," said Tian Chi. Even though the crowd didn't understand, they nodded. "Ruoxie, you're responsible here," said Tian Chi to Ruoxie. Ruoxie nodded. "Qing Tian, Lin Feng, you two go to Tian Yuan City," said Tian Chi to Mo Qing Tian and Lin Feng. Lin Feng and Mo Qing Tian left, Qiong Qi alongside Lin Feng. After a short time, Lin Feng said to Yan Di, "Will it be a problem for you?" "Don't worry," said Yan Di proudly and arrogantly. Then, he turned around and descended the mountain. "Lin Feng, are you sure your friend will be fine?" asked Tian Chi to Lin Feng. "Don't worry, he's competent," said Lin Feng smiling and nodding. "All right, let's go, and remember be careful," said Tian Chi to Mo Qing Tian and Lin Feng. He wasn't going to leave with them. Lin Feng and Mo Qing Tian smiled. Lin Feng stretched out his hand and took out a mask. Now, he was releasing demonic energies and his chi looked completely different. Mo Qing Tian did the same, turning himself into a middle-aged man. "Awesome, let's go," said Mo Qing Tian smiling. Lin Feng nodded and they moved towards Tian Yuan City. After a short time, Lin Feng could see the Yang clan. They were a prestigious family in northern Bahuang, who apart from influential imperial groups, were the overlords of northern Bahuang. But after the war against the island of the 9 dragons, they had become a lot weaker and now they were in danger, so they joined hands with Tianlong Divine Castle. Lin Feng looked at the buildings, remembering back to the first time he came to Bahuang. Lin Feng was aware that everything that was happening now was because of him. Of course, even before he arrived in Bahuang, there were tensions between Tiantai's emperors and Tianlong Divine Castle's emperor. Lin Feng turned around and left. He soon arrived in a luxuriant restaurant, filled with people chatting and having a merry time. They walked over to a table next to a window where there were already 2 people sitting, both of whom were cultivators of the first Zun Qi layer. "Your Excellency, may I help you?" asked one of them indifferently, yet coldly when he saw Lin Feng. "We want to sit here, so piss off," said Lin Feng. The 2 cultivators smiled coldly and said, "You told us to piss off," said the other one pointing to his nose. Boom! Lin Feng immediately punched the air in their direction without hesitation. "Try and dare," shouted that cultivator. Lin Feng's fist crashed onto that cultivator's head, blood splashed and he immediately fell down. The other one stood up and stared at Lin Feng, horrified. "Even though you're strong, you should be careful," said that cultivator. Kacha, another aggressive punch. This time, the cultivator was prepared and moved backwards, but Lin Feng's attack was too fast. "That guy is aggressive," thought the crowd. Lin Feng grabbed the cultivator's body and whispered, "Back then, I was the one who killed the young master from the island of the 9 dragons and blamed Yang Zilan and his sister. Who are you? I told you to piss off and you surprisingly didn't listen to me." Boom boom. Lin Feng threw the guy outside the window aggressively. The other looked at Lin Feng and ran away. "What did he say?" asked someone, trying to figure out Lin Feng. "He killed the young master from the island of the 9 dragons." When the island of the 9 dragons and the Yang clan fought, Yang Zilan and Yang Ziyi said that they hadn't killed him, but could it actually be this guy who did it? Everybody was staring at Lin Feng. How insane was he? Everybody was speechless though because Lin Feng acted as if nothing happened. He sat down and started drinking his own alcohol, which carried a rather strong fragrance and contained fire qi. As everybody had anticipated, some people from the Yang clan soon arrived. The leader was Yang Ziyi, who looked at Lin Feng in a cold way. "Miss Yang," said Lin Feng nodding at Yang Ziyi. Apart from her, there were other strong cultivators from the Yang clan, cultivators of the 3rd and 4th Zun Qi layer. Once they heard what Lin Feng had said, they hurried to the restaurant. Lin Feng had only broken through to the 9th Zun Qi layer, but they had sent cultivators of the 4th Zun Qi layer, meaning they weren't underestimating him. "Who are you? Why did you want to harm my clan back then?" asked Yang Ziyi. Lin Feng didn't pay attention though. He downed his glass and slowly stood up, glancing at the crowd. "Useless people, piss off, all of you, otherwise you'll die." Then, he released ice-cold demonic intent, shaking their souls. The Yang clan's members frowned, his qi was terrifying. Many people's silhouettes flickered. It seemed like Lin Feng was going to fight the Yang clan, but unfortunately, they couldn't watch. "I asked you something," said Yang Ziyi proudly. His qi was powerful, so what? She had strong cultivators on her side. They were all cultivators of the 3rd or 4th Zun Qi layer, so they could easily kill a cultivator of the Tian Qi layer. "She looks proud and arrogant, just like before," said Lin Feng, smiling in a cold way. Yang Ziyi saw his expression and shivered. That person looked like someone else she knew. "I've let you off once. The Yang clan wanted to bring about its own destruction, and since you killed people from Tiantai, you should be destroyed." "Lin Feng, you're Lin Feng." Yang Ziyi's facial expression changed drastically. "That insane guy again. It's too late." Lin Feng released his demonic territory. In a flash, the restaurant became dark and the faces of the members from the Yang clan turned deathly pale. Their faces turned pale, they knew how terrifying Lin Feng was. They didn't even have time to react, horrible shrieks quickly ensued. Chapter 13:13, The Yang Clan's Nightmare. "It's Lin Feng, attack him." Yang Ziyi's face was deathly pale. A few people rose up in the air at the same time and attacked the demonic territory, but Lin Feng took out his sword, which contained 3 types of abstruse energies, and immediately killed a cultivator of the 4th Zun Qi layer. He killed a cultivator of the 4th Zun Qi layer with only one sword attack, thought Yang Ziyi. Her face was even more pale. Only now did she understood what Lin Feng had done back then. He had created tensions between the island of the 9 dragons and the Yang clan, and he hadn't died from the desolate qi of the Huangxi. Lin Feng's cultivation knowledge was too deep. Blood continued to spill everywhere as a dozen Zun cultivators died in the blink of an eye, all in front of Yang Ziyi. Yang Ziyi sighed once she saw Lin Feng pointing his sword at her. She hadn't thought her entire life would change because of Lin Feng, whom she had met on a boat in the Huangxi. "It's all my fault." When Lin Feng's sword approached her, Yang Ziyi closed her eyes and tears rolled down her cheeks. Lin Feng had saved her, and if the Yang clan had been grateful, everything could have been different. Outside the restaurant, the crowd wanted to know what was going on inside. Very quickly, they saw a silhouette leave the restaurant and run away. That must have been the one who caused trouble, but he wasn't dead, which meant those Yang clan cultivators were. "Go, let's see." The crowd waited for a few minutes. After they saw that nobody was chasing him and that nothing seemed to be happening in the restaurant anymore, they peeked inside the restaurant. "All the members of the Yang clan were killed," whispered someone. They couldn't believe it. There were cultivators of the 3rd and 4th Zun Qi layer, even Yang Ziyi was with them. Yang Ziyi was calmly lying there. She didn't look scared, instead she looked like she was asleep. The crowd even saw tears drying in the corners of her eyes. Tiantai, they thought. Maybe that guy had hidden his cultivation level as well as his appearance. The Yang clan had helped Tianlong Divine Castle kill people from Tiantai before, and now Tiantai wanted their revenge. The Yang clan deserved it. Even though Tianlong Divine Castle came here, it's still too dangerous to offend Tiantai, thought some people. They didn't dare say that to anyone though. "Move." Yang Ziyi's father turned deathly pale after he arrived in the restaurant. He had already lost a son at the Chiu clan and now his last child, his daughter, had died. Many people from the Yang clan quickly arrived in the restaurant. Tiantai, all of them thought of the same group. 1 hour later, in the governmental buildings of the Yang clan. The grandfather of the Yang clan was looking at a corpse. Apart from Yang Ziyi and the strong cultivators who had been killed in that restaurant, more strong cultivators of the Yang clan were killed in another location soon after the bar fight. "Master," said someone rushing into the palace. That person looked crushed and didn't want to speak. "Speak," demanded the old man of the Yang clan. "Some members of our clan were killed at the market, including Master Yang Lai," said that person, not raising their head. Yang Lai's social status was even higher than Yang Ziye's, he was Yang Ziye's uncle. Tap tap tap, someone else arrived and the face of the old man turned deathly pale. "Speak," said the old man before the person even arrived. "Master, the fifth young master was," said that person. Kacha, the old man's chair exploded. He was furious. "Quick, tell everyone to come back. Nobody can stay outside," said the old man. The Yang clan was Tian Yuan City's most powerful group, they ran many businesses in town, the open-air market, treasure shops, and so on. They'd have to cease their activities for the time being. The old man went to the back of the room, to a door. He entered the room, where some people were sitting inside. "Didn't you say that you were tracking every movement of theirs?" said the old man to one of the people who were sitting. That person raised his head and glanced at the old man. "Are you blaming me?" "I wouldn't dare." The old man was furious, but he didn't dare offend those people. That person stared at the old man, making him feel uncomfortable. He didn't know what the old man was thinking, before finally, he looked elsewhere and said, "Be patient, they're already outside of Tian Yuan City. 3 people already came to Tian Yuan City, so they can't do much. Their forces might all come to the clan tomorrow, at that point we'll destroy them all." When he said the word, destroy, he sounded cruel. "I feel relieved, I know you're extremely strong, so we must annihilate them," said the old man. Outside of the Yang clan, there was a vast area where few people ventured. It was usually calm, but at that moment, a loud sound broke the silence, as well as an explosion. The ground cracked as a silhouette descended from the sky and violently landed on the ground. However, it was actually a corpse. The guards of the Yang clan were startled when they saw the corpse, their faces turned deathly pale. "It's Yang Qiong, it's Master Yang Qiong." The guards didn't know what to do, petrified with fear. Yang Qiong was the 4th member of the Yang clan who belonged to the real lineage. After a short time, a horse with a corpse on its back appeared to be galloping towards them. A day passed, a long day of death, that is. Once it became night, there was even more shouting and everybody was terrified. Each time the strong cultivators from the Yang clan went out, they wouldn't find anyone alive, only corpses. The ordinary members of the Yang clan didn't trust Tianlong Divine Castle as much as their leaders. They were scared of influential imperial groups and preferred to stay away from those people, but they had no choice in this matter. One full day passed and Tiantai's people still didn't show up. Kaboom! The old man from the Yang clan was furious, clenching his fists aggressively. He went back to the small room at the back of his palace hall. He realized that Tianlong Divine Castle was waiting for Tiantai to arrive, but nobody was arriving. Instead, Tiantai was just playing with them. 3 days passed and they still haven't come. "I'll dispatch some people," said a cultivator at the top of the Zunqi layer to the old man of the Yang clan. Outside of Tian Yuan City, Tiantai's people were still waiting at the top of a mountain. Tian Qi had even come back. "Brothers, when are we going to go and kill the Yang clan?" asked someone calmly. Tian Qi turned around, smiled and said, "Why would we go? We can just wait for them, isn't that better?" Chapter 13-14, Yang Clan's Judgment Day. Wait for them, everybody sounded skeptical. Lin Feng and Mo Qing Tian had only been gone for a few days. Had they informed Tianlong Divine Castle instead of killing them? "Brother, if Lin Feng and brother Mo went to Tianlong Divine Castle, won't it be dangerous?" asked Meng Ba, frowning. Who said they went to find people from Tianlong Divine Castle? Asked Tianqi smiling. Meng Ba was surprised and asked, why are we waiting for them? How do they know we're here? Maybe someone will tell them, said Tianqi indifferently. Then, Tianqi stood up and said, all right, it's not safe here anymore, we have to move somewhere else. Please follow Ruoxia to another mountain range. Traitors, thought the crowd, it seemed like Tianqi was trying to deal with their traitor. Everybody stood up and followed Ruoxia. However, Tianqi said seriously, everybody, stay 100 meters away from Ruoxia, you probably understand why. Of course. Brothers, hurry. Tianqi nodded, everything was going according to plan. Tianqi looked at Ruoxia and Wang Shao and said, Ruoxia, Wang Shao, you are both quite strong. Ruoxia, bring the others to another mountain range, Wang Shao and I will sit and wait for people from Tianlong Divine Castle to come. Once they do, we'll leave. Understood, said Ruoxia nodding. Ruoxia then brought the crowd to another mountain while Tianqi and Wang Shao stayed there. Brother, forgive me for being straightforward, but Tianlong Divine Castle is very strong. Even though we have many strong cultivators, it's still not enough, said Wang Shao, after the crowd left. Tianqi closed his eyes and sat down cross-legged, of course it's not enough. What you mean to say is that more people are coming, said Ruoxia. You'll understand in the morning, so why ask me so much, said Tianqi then. Wang Shao didn't say anything more. Time passed and it became dark outside. The previous days had been nightmarish for the Yang clan. Bodies were piling, and the murderers were nowhere to be found. If they weren't so sure that it was Tiantai, they would have suspected the assassins from the abyss of sufferings. Yang Ding, after tonight, the nightmare will be over. Do you think Tianlong Divine Castle can destroy Tiantai? Asked someone in the main hall. Two people were drinking tea and talking. I'm worried, said Yang Ding, sipping the tea and frowning. Worried about what? Tianlong Divine Castle's people are leaving Tianyuan City tomorrow to annihilate Tiantai, shouldn't we send some people too? When the time is right, there will be nothing left here. And if Tiantai's strong cultivators come here during the chaos, it'll be dangerous for us, said Yang Ding. If Tianlong Divine Castle was defeated by Tiantai, the Yang clan would be in even worse danger. Yang Ding, since we made these decisions, we can't back out now. We could only accept defeat if Tianlong loses. However, your worries are not groundless, let's go and find grandfather, said the other one. Yang Ding nodded and they left. However, after they passed the door, a sword appeared in the darkness. It was ice cold and it could pierce people's souls. They suddenly stopped moving. Blood splashed and a wind blew, but they didn't see anything besides a black shadow. After a short time, some people walked by and saw them standing there, blood pooling beneath them. Master, many people looked to the leader of the Yang clan, but he just turned around and left without saying anything. That night seemed extremely long. Nobody slept or practiced cultivation, everybody was worried that they would die if they weren't vigilant. Eventually, the sun started rising, relieving their concerns. Finally, after that day, the nightmare would be over. Tianlong would destroy Tiantai and they would move to western Ba Huang. The Yang clan, like many of the other clans, had a battle stage where they made their disciples fight. On their battle stage were many strong cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle, waiting. There were also many strong cultivators from the Yang clan and some other clans. In total, there were 3 groups of people. You're only sending half of your people, asked a cultivator at the top of the Zunqi layer from Tianlong Divine Castle. We have to leave some people here to protect the territory. You've seen how many of our people have been assassinated. If there is nobody here and Tiantai comes, they'll destroy our territory without resistance, said the old man from the Yang clan. Besides, with your strength plus the Xian Yuan clan and the others, we should have no problem annihilating Tiantai. The cultivator of the top of the Zunqi layer nodded, that's not groundless, let's go then. They rose up in the air together, and those who were still alive Tian Yuan City noticed them flying away. Was Tianlong Divine Castle leaving to fight Tiantai? After Tianlong Divine Castle's people and the others left, the old man from the Yang clan was finally relieved. Finally, they were going to fight with the strong army Tianlong Divine Castle had assembled. "All the members of the Yang clan, come onto the stage," shouted the old man from the Yang clan. His voice spread everywhere in their territory. In a flash, people from the entire clan gathered on the stage. They would wait for the strong cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle and the others to come back before leaving the stage, that way they couldn't be assassinated. More and more people gathered together, but outside of the Yang clan, a terrifying chi loomed over the sky. Boom! The old man was instantly depressed. Then, all the members of the Yang clan sensed the terrifying chi, powerful enough to make them suffocate. A strength at the peak of the Zun chi layer, the face of the old man of the Yang clan turned deathly pale. Even though he was also a cultivator at the top of the Zun chi layer, he couldn't compete with cultivators at the top of the Zun chi layer from Tiantai. Who came? The old man of the Yang clan was vigilant. He had left some strong cultivators in the clan, but Tiantai had sent a cultivator at the top of the Zun chi layer to spy on them. At that moment, the crowd raised their heads and saw a sword appear in the sky. It alone illuminated the entire territory of the Yang clan. Sword Chi was quickly moving towards the battle stage, destroying everything in its path, people and buildings. "Move aside," shouted the old man of the Yang clan, his face was deathly pale. He rose up in the air and dodged the attack. They also moved aside as the sword cut the battle stage in two. Those who were too close were immediately killed, without a trace. What a terrifying sword, thought everybody. Tiantai continued attacking. In the distance, a silhouette rose up in the air, his face looked sharp and his robe was fluttering in the wind. The Yang clan is doomed, those who recognized the silhouette realized. The Yang clan had made a decision and now, they were going to regret it. Even the leader of the Yang clan burst into laughter when he saw that silhouette. He knew they were doomed. Ho Ching Lin, today is a tragic day for the Yang clan. The Yang clan didn't make any mistakes. Yang Tian Lin, didn't make any mistake. "We were not wrong, I wasn't wrong," said the old man. He wasn't scared. He knew that it was impossible to avoid the destruction of his clan. Ho Ching Lin was now a cultivator at the top of the Zun chi layer, nobody could stop him. A few years before, Ho Ching Lin could already kill cultivators at the top of the Zun chi layer, and back then, he was already far from being what he is now. "In the cultivation world, there's no such concept as right and wrong," said Ho Ching Lin calmly, making the leader of the Yang clan smile. Indeed, in the cultivation world, there was only the strong and the stronger. Chapter 13-15, Plan and Plot. People sighed. They knew that there were tensions between the Yang clan and Tiantai. Many people believed it was Lin Feng's fault. In Tian Yuan City, Lin Feng and Mo Qing Tian were in the sky, riding a boat which utilized empty space energies. The members of the Yang clan stepped into the mountain range where Tian Qi and Wang Xiao were. Once the members from the Yang clan and Tian Yuan City left the Yang clan's territory, Lin Feng and Mo Qing Tian flew back as well. Their second fellow disciple, Ho Ching Lin, could take care of the rest, alone. "You're back." Tian Qi opened his eyes and looked at Lin Feng and Mo Qing Tian. "Brother." Lin Feng nodded at Tian Qi and Wang Xiao. Tian Qi said to Lin Feng, "You should catch up with the rest of the group." "Understood." They both rose up in the air and left for the other mountain. Tian Qi and Wang Xiao were still alone. "Brother, have the battle started?" asked Wang Xiao to Tian Qi. "Tianlong Divine Castle and the Yang clan's members are going to arrive here soon," said Tian Qi, closing his eyes again as if all this had nothing to do with him. Wang Xiao frowned and said, "Brother, since they're coming, shouldn't we stay with our fellow disciples and get ready to fight Tianlong Divine Castle?" "Not yet, when the right time comes, said Tianqi calmly. Wang Shao stood up and gazed in the distance after he heard Tianqi. He couldn't see anything and frowned. Brother, where are the others? Tianqi opened his eyes again and turned around. He looked at Wang Shao, making him feel awkward. Wang Shao, why do you keep talking? Wang Shao smiled wryly. We're both here together, two brothers. If Tianlong's people come here, we'll die. I think we should gather together with the others. What do you think? It's too late, said Tianqi. Wang Shao was petrified. Rumbling sounds became distinct as they saw an army arriving in the distance. Brother, what are you waiting for? Said Wang Shao hastily. Are you a member of Tiantai? Asked Tianqi. Wang Shao was petrified, but then he turned to Tianqi and smiled. Tianqi, said the leader of the army as he looked at Wang Shao. How can you be so sure it's me? Asked Wang Shao to Tianqi. I'm not sure, I still have some doubts even, said Tianqi calmly. Do you think you're smart? Asked Wang Shao calmly. Since Tianlong Divine Castle's people were there, it was useless to talk any further. Why was Tianlong Divine Castle's army there? Tianqi and Wang Shao were the only ones there. Seeing how Tianqi couldn't be a traitor, Wang Shao was the only one left to blame. If Tianlong Divine Castle could control Wang Zhao's location, they could also monitor Tiantai's position. Smart, said Tianqi, putting his palms together and closing his eyes. He said calmly, Tiantai's goals were to eradicate the traitor, that's why the Yang clan was annihilated already. Now it's your turn, Wang Shao. Wang Shao was caught off guard. He only saw a golden light streak across the sky. Suddenly, Wang Shao rose up in the air. In prison, terrifying lights appeared around Tianqi, they even contained holy marks. These lights dashed to the skies and Wang Shao was suddenly petrified, his body quickly turning golden. Break! Shouted Wang Shao furiously. The golden lights broke and a metallic ringing sound hummed. Soul sacrifice, holy marks, said Tianqi. His body turned golden when suddenly, the marks moved towards Wang Shao. A horrible shriek ensued. Wang Zhao's body turned golden and he was riddled with gaping wounds. Tianqi had been sitting cross-legged the whole time, not even moving an inch. A gigantic hand moved towards them, but it was already too late. After Tianqi's holy marks attack, Wang Shao had died. Tiantai's goal was only to eradicate the traitor, that's why the Yang clan was annihilated, thought the leader of the Yang clan, recalling Tianqi's words. His face turned deathly pale when he thought about it more. Brother. Yang Zhan looked at the cultivators at the top of the Zun-Chi layer. When you make decisions, you have to bear the responsibility for your actions, that's a basic rule on the path of cultivation, said that cultivator at the top of the Zun-Chi layer, when he saw that Yang Zhan was staring at him. Yang Zhan's eyes were bloodshot, but he nodded and said, I will not let him influence my cultivation, but I must get my revenge today. You will. Tiantai sent people to destroy your clan, at the same time, Wang Shao brought us here to fight Tiantai. Although it was a decent scheme, they definitely underestimated Tianlong Divine Castle, said that cultivator. Let's go, Tiantai's people can't be too far. Maybe they're still fighting people in the Yang clan. In any case, let's find them and kill them. Yang Zhan immediately released ice-cold energies when he heard that. Bzzz, the cultivator at the top of the Zun-Chi layer took a step forwards and said, we're going to Tiantai to destroy them. Silhouettes then flickered away. As they had guessed, Tiantai's people hadn't gone back and they weren't very far. They were in a valley with cliffs surrounding them. Because of the geography, it was thus difficult to sense any chi from the surroundings. Brother, what's going on? Asked someone to Tianqi, who had just come back. And where was Wang Shao? The Yang clan has been destroyed. Wang Shao was the traitor and I killed him myself, replied Tianqi calmly. It was him. When I came back to Tiantai before, he was the one who wanted to get revenge the most. No wonder. As expected, maybe Tianlong Divine Castle had prepared an incredible army. That would explain why Wang Shao had hoped we'd act recklessly. You think that you're so smart and that your plan was perfect, said someone at that moment. Tianlong Divine Castle's people. Qi descended from the sky. When they raised their heads, they saw countless strong cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle descending from the sky. Tian Qi the sadhu frowned and looked at them in a meaningful way. Can't you just tell me who else is a traitor amongst us? Boom! Two silhouettes rose up in the air like arrows, as if they were afraid that Tianlong could injure them accidentally. Xian Ting and Lin Xiao, two more people. Tian Qi looked calm as he smiled and said, "You really planned everything out carefully, nothing could have gone wrong since you sent 3 people. Of course, and now you're stuck in this valley, like an animal trapped in a cage now. We even casted a spell, so you can't leave anymore. Unfortunately for you, Ho Qing Lin hasn't made it back yet." "Who knows," said Tian Qi calmly. Immediately after that, a sword Qi pierced through the cage and instantly destroyed it. Ho Qing Lin, people from Tianlong raised their heads and frowned. Then, at the same time, all the members from Tiantai jumped into a gigantic boat. "If you hadn't come to the valley, how would we have destroyed you?" said a cold voice. Immediately after, bright lights appeared and Tiantai's boat disappeared. It then reappeared in the sky above them. Chapter 13-16, Dark Holy Marks. Tianlong Divine Castle's people suddenly understood what was going on. Their plan hadn't worked as they had expected. They had planned on there being other spies, not only Wang Xiao. Ho Qing Lin. Tianlong Divine Castle's cultivators raised their heads and noticed that Ho Qing Lin had already reached the peak of the Zun Qi layer. Destroy. Ridiculous. Even if you found a way to protect yourself, it doesn't mean you can destroy us, said a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer from Tianlong Divine Castle. He sounded confident as then released bestial qi around him. "Go," said someone. The strong cultivators from Tianlong looked at Ho Qing Lin and flew towards him. Ho Qing Lin was already releasing reincarnation abstruse energies. The valley was filled with lights. Reincarnation energies are a terrifying and mysterious power. "What should we do?" thought the cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle. The leader shouted, "Destroy the mountain and move through it to the other side." "Break, break," shouted the strong cultivators. They attacked the mountain range furiously. However, the mountain range started shining. It wasn't a mountain range, but a gigantic spell with holy marks appearing everywhere. Holy marks. Besides, those holy marks black in color. Ah, a horrible shriek sounded as someone's arm suddenly burnt after touching the marks. That terrifying fire flew throughout the person's arm and his entire body started burning as well. "Back, everybody move back," shouted the enemies furiously. Boom, 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 the black holy marks were whistling. In a flash, people who were just standing next to the cliff started burning. Destroy. In Tiantai, nobody can release such powerful holy marks, even Ho Qing Lin, thought the leader of Tianlong Divine Castle. He raised his head and looked around. They actually planned on luring us here. Of course, without those terrifying holy marks, we would have easily won, but now, because of those holy marks, things are looking dire, thought their leader, sighing. He watched as his people were burning alive from the holy marks. His heart twitched. Those people were heroes inside Tianlong Divine Castle. "Everybody, get back," shouted the cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer. A dragon scepter appeared in his hand. An imperial weapon. The members of the Xian Yuan clan and some others felt relieved. No wonder Tianlong was so confident. They had sent 100 heroes from Tianlong, coupled with the Xian Yuan clan, the Yang clan, other clans, and the imperial weapon, the celestial dragon scepter. "Help me destroy them," shouted a strong cultivator, glancing at the fire holy marks. The holy marks coupled with Ho Qing Lin's reincarnation energies, were trapping them in the valley. Die! Golden lights appeared from inside the scepter and several dragons appeared, baring their fangs and brandishing their claws. Each dragon was millions of meters long and looked terrifying. Besides that, all the strong cultivators also turned into dragons. Boom boom boom, the reincarnation energies shook violently. However, Ho Ching Lin was still in the sky and his reincarnation sword made the energies even more terrifying. The dragon at the front charged into the reincarnation energies, but couldn't destroy them. "Help me attack the reincarnation energies," shouted the leader of the group. Then he fused together with the dragons and the celestial dragon scepter also turned into a dragon. Roar, 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 dragons roared. The cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer wasn't human anymore, he was an authentic dragon. The reincarnation energies were shaking violently under his attack and at the same time, other strong cultivators were pushing ahead. "Reincarnation energies, break," shouted a voice furiously. Cracking and explosions sounded as the cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle were struggling to break the energies above them. If Ho Ching Lin broke through to the 8th or 9th Zun Qi layer, then that would be truly terrifying. He would become as strong as Mu Chen then. It would mean that apart from emperors, he would have no enemy. Only a few people were like that in Ba Huang. "We can't die." Tian Qi put his palms together and released some Buddha lights. "Xian Ting, Lin Xiao, come here." They both moved to the cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer without saying anything. "Why don't you know about the Holy Mark's deployment spell?" asked the cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer. They both shook their heads and said, "First we were together, then Tian Qi, Lin Feng and Mo Qing Tian left, then, Tian Qi sent us here. We didn't know there were holy marks already in place. Tian Qi's people can't release such powerful holy marks, not to mention Lin Feng or Mo Qing Tian," said that cultivator. "Do you think your ignorance is a good reason? People died because of you." Xian Ting and Lin Xiao were shaking, soaked with sweat. The cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer continued, "We sent you to spy on them and you betrayed us, you're useless." Both cultivators shook violently, they tried to run away, but they weren't strong enough to escape his attack. The dragon claws fell down on them, no, kaboom, metallic ringing sounds ensued and they died. "That's what those spies deserve," thought the cultivators from Tiantai, smiling coldly. Chapter 13-17, Tianlong Divine Castle's Union, their cultivators are fusing together with each other's dragon energies. That cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer from Tianlong Divine Castle can almost turn into a real dragon, thought some members of Tiantai. The holy marks already destroyed a lot of their cultivators, only 20 or so of their strongest cultivators are left. On the side of Tiantai, apart from the direct disciples, not many people could compete with them. "Ho Ching Lin, even if you reach the top of the Zun Qi layer, it doesn't matter, you're still too weak. And Mu Chen isn't here to save you," said the strong cultivator who had turned into a dragon. He was challenging Mu Chen. "Against you, I don't need him to come," said Ho Ching Lin calmly. Dragons roared and pieces from the mountain exploded. The gigantic dragon threw himself at Ho Ching Lin. "Scatter," shouted Ho Ching Lin. Many of the people from Tiantai quickly moved away. A battle between the dragon and Ho Ching Lin could spill over and harm the weaker cultivators. "Little monk, I will show you that I am stronger by reducing you to dust." A cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer appeared in front of Tian Qi as well. He hadn't transformed into a dragon, but he was wearing a dragon armor which seemed extremely strong. Tian Qi acted as if he hadn't heard anything. He put his palms together and started chanting a mantra in a clear, melodious, pure, deep, far-reaching Brahma voice. "Die," shouted the cultivator. Without releasing any energy, he moved towards Tian Qi, slashing with his claws. However, Tian Qi didn't try to dodge, instead, he continued chanting mantras. The Buddha behind him was shaking, the gigantic hand of the Buddha met the dragon's claws. They collided many times, each time shaking space around them. The energies released by their attacks dispersed all around, luckily there was nobody around to get hurt. The mountain range became a battlefield and everybody was fighting. Tianlong Divine Castle had more cultivators than Tiantai because many of Tiantai's cultivators were sent back by the boat already. Lin Feng didn't leave. He was riding Cheong Cheese while holding his Tianji sword. He was already surrounded by 3 strong cultivators. 2 of them had broken through to the 5th Zun Qi layer and 1 of them to the 6th Zun Qi layer. "Buddy, we need to escape." Lin Feng glanced at the fighters all around him. Tiantai no longer had the advantage. Even Ho Qing Lin didn't necessarily have the advantage. After all, he had just reached the top of the Zun Qi layer, whereas the cultivator from Tianlong Divine Castle had an imperial weapon. "All right," said Cheong Qi. Instead of fighting, they flew around, leaving behind mysterious marks. Then they flew off. "Chase them," shouted the 3 cultivators. The 3 cultivators' faces twitched. They didn't want to chase Lin Feng because they knew he had Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword, but Lin Feng was one of the people they definitely had to kill. They had to, so they quickly made up their mind to chase him. Very quickly, Lin Feng and Cheong Qi had made it a few hundred meters away. Lin Feng said to Cheong Qi, using telepathy, "Buddy, we can't play around today. The 3 of them are strong cultivators from Tianlong, and those who have broken through to the 5th Zun Qi layer or above are still difficult for me to defeat. I need your help." "Don't worry, just use your territory spell and I'll help you kill them," said Cheong Qi. Even though he had the 9 Netherworld's Demon Lotus, he couldn't use it because people would know that he was the one who had cheated the 8 emperors. "Understood." Lin Feng suddenly stopped, turned around, and faced the 3 cultivators. "Die!" They all threw themselves at Lin Feng. Their dragons were roaring furiously and their claws were lacerating the air. However, Lin Feng didn't look worried at all. He was just smiling. Boom boom. Their claws were about to reach them when the space suddenly became distorted. Demonic territory, the 3 cultivators were trapped now. "Kill him," shouted one of them. Ah, a horrible shriek sounded. He was suddenly surrounded by demonic fire and was burning alive. The faces of the other 2 turned deathly pale. They were staring at a silhouette, but it wasn't Lin Feng, it was a Taoist monk who was releasing demonic fire. It was the Taoist monk from the legends. Very quickly, 2 more horrible shrieks appeared and the demonic territory disappeared. Lin Feng took their rings for himself. "Not bad. Emperor, let's go back," said Lin Feng smiling. "What's going on?" The cultivators from Tianlong were surprised when Lin Feng came back unscathed. They hadn't sensed the qi from Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword, so how had Lin Feng killed those 3 strong cultivators? "Ho Qing Lin, you're wearing the 7 feathers robe," said the dragon. His scepter contributed to making his dragon transformation perfect, so apart from emperors, he had no equal. But Ho Qing Lin was wearing a Taoist robe made of feathers, an imperial weapon called the 7 feathers robe which could multiply the user's speed. Thanks to his speed, he had already killed 5 of the stronger cultivators from Tianlong. "You're not stupid," said Ho Qing Lin. Tianlong Divine Castle had already lost 7 or 8 strong cultivators while Tiantai hadn't lost anyone. "I thought you would use Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword, but it seems like Tiantai doesn't intend to use it," said the gigantic dragon, looking down at Lin Feng. "It seems like someone guessed right. Lin Feng cannot use Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword as many times as he wishes." "There must be conditions," said the cultivator of the top of the Zun Qi layer. "Lin Feng, how many more times can you use Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword?" asked the gigantic dragon. Lin Feng smiled and said, "Maybe I'll tell you when you're about to die." "Is that so?" "You won't be able to, I fear, unless you use it today," said the dragon, before stretching out his claws. A dazzling picture scroll appeared and some silhouettes jumped out of it. Lin Feng was astonished, it was them. "No matter what tensions there are between Tianlong and Tiantai, we don't care. However, today, the Qi clan will definitely kill Lin Feng," said a voice aggressively. It was the strong cultivators from the Qi clan. The altar grew in size and a dragon appeared inside, its eyes were bloodshot. Tianlong Divine Castle has taken out their dragon altar. Mu Chen announced. Roar, a dragon roared. Mu Chen narrowed his eyes. Bzzz, a light surrounded Mu Chen, and then, he disappeared. Mu Chen reappeared in the altar, fighting the blood dragon. Qi Qianxing, it's your turn, said Jinggu, smiling coldly. Alright, said Qi Qianxing. He disappeared and Lin Feng sensed some overwhelming energies appear above him. Be careful, shouted Ho Qing Lin furiously. Qing Lin streaked across the sky and took Lin Feng far away. Qi Qianxing's claws slashed the space where he was just standing, leaving pitch-black threads in that spot. That's empty space abstruse energy, he can cut actual pieces of space. Ho Qing Lin realized. That was the strength of cultivators of a top Zun Qi layer cultivator. Don't be impatient Ho Qing Lin, it'll be your turn soon enough, said Qi Qianxing, glancing at Ho Qing Lin. Emperor, what should we do? Asked Lin Feng to Cheong Qi using telepathy. He can control empty space abstruse energies to a frightening degree, there's no solution, said Cheong Qi. You killed so many people from the Qi clan, do you think I'll let you off, said Qi Qianxing. Then, he shook his hand and the sky started trembling as a gigantic hand appeared above Lin Feng. Lin Feng couldn't escape, even if he tried, that hand would catch up to him easily. So you don't care if Qi Jiao Jiao dies? Asked Lin Feng. If I don't kill you, you'll never release her. It's the same as her being dead, said Qi Qianxin. Bzzz. Ho Qing Lin's silhouette flickered, as he moved towards Lin Feng again. Mu Chen is able to stop me from killing him, so what makes you think you can? Asked Qi Qianxing. He jumped forwards, appearing in front of Ho Qing Lin. Darkness appeared and surrounded Ho Qing Lin. Ho Qing Lin's facial expression changed drastically. He unsheathed his reincarnation sword and retreated back. Only an emperor's could try to resist such an attack. Humph. Qi Qianxing groaned coldly. His silhouette flickered and he disappeared. Lin Feng's face was deathly pale. He could only release Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword at this point. Unsheath. Lin Feng used Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword for the third time. So Lin Feng could still use it. Die. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword streaked across the sky, but Qi Qianxing didn't appear in front of Lin Feng, instead, behind him. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword is really powerful, it can even kill cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer, but it's useless this time, said a voice. Lin Feng turned around and saw Qi Qianxing appearing. Why couldn't he defeat him even with Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword? You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.